Hello, everybody, and welcome to LUTI Tonight. It is Wednesday, January 4th, 2023, kicking off the new year with some amazing Week 3 sets. We're going to be starting off with Honkers versus Sunrise, followed by Chirality versus Crystal Coral, and then capping off the night with Black Squid Inkburger versus Cephala Squad. So to get you set up for the first match between Honkers and Sunrise, we have Rice and Dynamite. Both of you guys, take it away.
Yes, hello, I'm Rice, and then would my co-commentator like to introduce themselves?
Yes, hello. I am Dynamite Central. I go or Dynamite or Dino for short.
All right, so our first game mode is going to be Scorch Gorge Clan Blitz. Any thoughts on this map mode from me, Dino?
So, Scorch Gorge Clam Blitz, it's a very interesting map. I personally have a sort of liking to it. It's definitely a lot of, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, that tower in the middle is not there. It's more just like a platform. But either way, trying to get into that basket area through the right ramp, or if you're trying to defend the left ramp, if you're the defending team, it's a little bit of a challenge, and sometimes it requires flanks from both ends. And yeah, personally, I really like it.
Yeah, and we just saw we saw the rosters from the two teams. We see that Sunrise has a lot more members than Honkers did. We can see that Sunrise has, I believe, that 7 members, and Honkers has 5 members. So we might see some swapping around from Sunrise in between each game.
Yeah, definitely. Sunrise's roster does look like they have a lot of people in it, so I wouldn't be too surprised if we see like a sub happen, or a delay for some reason because the teams are trying to sub out their people. And yeah, having that amount of people could end up with a lot of different combinations of comp combinations that we don't see normally.
Yeah, and to just follow off your thoughts on Clan Blitz Scorch Gorge, this is also probably one of my preferred map modes for Clan Blitz, at least for me. One of the key factors for Clan Blitz Scorch Gorge is actually getting into the middle tower, keeping control of that area so you have all the sight lines to be able to push in either through that grading area or going up through the ramp towards the basket.
Yeah, definitely. I also believe if you're managed to put a backliner such as a Hydra or an E-Leader or some sort of charger, you can absolutely keep the enemy team back. And I've had multiple cases where if there's a backliner on that mid tower, it's a little bit difficult to try to get back in, and it's definitely a top priority for your Slayers or someone that is able to flank to take out that backliner. Otherwise, they just dominate mid.
Yes, indeed. And we might see some, I know charges have been a little less common in a lot of the comps that we see recently, but usually at lower levels, we have people just choosing what they like to play, and then we might see a charger, we might not. It really just depends on how these teams like to play.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely feel especially with these lower divs and low level scene, it allows for a lot more unique comps that you normally don't see. But yeah, I'm excited to see how these matches go. I'm excited to see what both teams pull out, and I think we're going to see some pretty good matches on both sides.
All right, before we start, how many splashes do you think we'll see today?
I don't know. I think maybe at least we'll see once at some point. I don't know when, but I would expect to see one.
All right, and here we are going into the match. We have Honkers, I believe, in the orange and Sunrise in the purple.
Yep, and we already see a splash on, I think it's that both sides? Yeah, that's both sides have a splash right now. And I see a Stamper and an Explo on the side of Sunrise.
Yeah, and we can see an X-Splasher on the side of Sunrise. That gives them a lot of AoE and chip damage to go into, especially with their Splatana.
Yeah, and we can already see that Splatana going down with the roller as well. And we're just seeing right now that the Splash has its special ready, has oh wait, no, that's their shot. My bad. Their shot has their special ready, goes down already, and their backline is already forced to retreat as Sunrise is going ahead and getting a strong push started right here.
Yeah, but we see the Splash going down from Sunrise, and also the Splatana Stamper.
Oh my, yeah, no, already a lot of members down on Sunrise, but they managed to still keep hold of mid right now as they retreat back, and they're just kind of playing mid control, trying to get another power ready to go. And, like, we already see Reef Spider on the side of the Tetras as they get a kill on that roller, starting to move up right now, and it's going to be causing trouble for both that Charger and the rest of Honkers.
Yeah, we can see that Sunrise doesn't really have a lot of, as I say that, they get a power clam, but we can see the clam economy on each side. Honkers didn't have that many clams. They can only score it to 56, and each person, especially the Splash, is going to be going back to retreat. I think that was the Explosion, but that's going to take some time off of the timer.
Yeah, no, definitely. Really smart to keep that Explo just going ahead and keeping clams. That Explo, while it can apply some pressure, it is a good idea for that Explo to be gathering the clams right now, especially since they have all that turf control in mid. And we can already see here that Honkers is just cleaning up the mess right now as Sunrise ends it with a 50-point lead.
Yeah, 50 points, it is a big lead, but this can easily change, especially with Honkers getting 2 power clams in and just a couple more clams for change.
Yeah, but already Honkers is 2 down. They're not going to be able to make a decent push right now. And the last person goes ahead and jumps out with a power clam. Very smart move on the side of Honkers, especially since they were in trouble there for having 2 down.
Yeah, we want to try to see Honkers building for their special, getting area control, and making sure to stop that, especially that Tetra dualies, from just rolling into them and taking free picks.
Yeah, already again, Honkers is again in trouble with both of their Slayers down. The Splash and the Splatter Shot going down. That E-Waiter getting a real... or no, I don't know what that was. Yeah, it was the leader. So the leader gets a good pick there, but they still have to play defensively because, again, their 2 Slayers just went down and they are at a disadvantage as Sunrise continues to hold mid right now and get a power.
Yeah, and we can see Honkers is just unable to try to really get some type of advantage over Sunrise. We see that the Splatter Shot kept going down there early on. And then we can see that the Tetra Dualies are trying to get something going for their team on Sunrise to get into the basket.
Yeah, already right now, Sunrise is still keeping that pressure up. Honkers is not able to move out. There's a trade on the side of Honkers, but they only have their roller down. That roller goes ahead and gets a pick immediately, but gets found out by that Splash, and they're just able to chuck those power clams right in, pushing it to 35 points. And they're just gonna hold on to that basket as Honkers goes in 1 by 1.
Yeah, and we can see Honkers is trying to play some defense. But the roller goes down, and the Charger's trying its best to get the Splash-O-Matic some backup.
Yeah, and we can see right now Honker's already going ahead and building another power clam. They still have control of that basket area right now, and it looks like that control is actually pretty much gone with both the Splash and the dualies going down here.
With the Splatana getting 1 pick on, I believe that's the Splatter Shot, and another pick on the roller.
Yeah, Sunrise going in. Splatana's wasted Zipcaster there, but it's still fine. Sunrise is still holding on to the basket area. They're chucking clams in. They only just need about 2 more clams to put in that basket and get an early KO. Crab Tank being popped out, trying to push everyone off this side. And it looks like right now Sunrise is not going to be able to get that KO in time. And Honkers may still have a chance, especially with that pity power clam, but I don't think they're going to be able to get that chance because Sunrise is holding a death grip on them right now.
Yeah, and Honkers doesn't have that much time left. They can't let Sunrise score again, or else overtime will not appear for them. They do have the power clam, so overtime will start, but they need to start moving, and it looks like Sunrise is just holding them out, and I think that's over for overtime.
Yeah. That's it. Those 2 power clams going in and ending Honker's run right then and there. That's going to be a 94-point win for Sunrise as they take the first set. I mean,
Yeah,
game.
and we can see during the whole game, Sunrise had control of that ramp area near the basket, and that's the key to try to keep scoring, keep control of this map, especially for this mode.
Yeah, we can see Sunrise mostly was keeping that basket under control, and not only that, but they were just absolutely holding mid that entire time. You can see right here that, like, they have absolute control of the entire game right here. Tortilla going in and just getting power clams, and we already see that they have 2 ready to go. And yeah, even with, there was literally not a lot of chances for Honkers to try to drop in, especially since those Tetras were pressuring them so hard.
Yeah, we can see that it was really hard for Honkers to get anywhere, especially because the X-Flosher, the Tetra Dualies were just holding them back so much.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to move on to Game 2, Museum Diafonso. I can't speak today. Museum. It's Game 2. Tower Control. It's gonna be a very interesting match. I'm a little indifferent about Museum personally.
I think for Museum, we might, from Sunrise at least, we'll see the Charger maybe come back out again, especially on a map like Museum where there's a lot of Charger spots that they can take control of. One of the big keys is probably going to be the 2 spinners on each, or I guess the 3 spinners, but any of the spinners on each side.
Yeah, no, definitely. For tower control at least, that mid spinner is going to be where that tower starts, and of course there's going to be a fight to mid, but it's going to really largely depend on who wins that fight on mid, and whoever just manages to push up with that tower. But yeah, as they move forward, having control of the side spinners as the tower moves forward is definitely key, especially if you're trying to just clear the way and just making sure that you have a clear path for the tower and that it can just ride on safely.
Yeah, and I wonder if we're going to see the X-Flosher come back out from, I believe it was Sunrise, if I'm not wrong.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I believe that Sunrise, well, it's questionable. I don't know if we'll see it. Well, let's find out right now as we go ahead and start with tower control.
All right, and we can see that Honkers is sticking with the Charger, and Sunrise going to the Tri-Stringer.
Yeah, it looks like they've traded. Their backline may have switched over to the Tri-Stringer here. I think that's a better pick than trying to go for the Expo here on tower control. But we can already see 1 down on the side of Sunrise as a couple of their members start to go down into mid. Crab is immediately popped off here. We'll see if they do much with it, but it looks like they're just only going to be able to apply pressure.
Yeah, and it's an even playing field right now. It's 3-3. And, oh no, actually, Sunrise goes 2 down, and Honkers might have the chance to push this tower.
Yeah, it does look like this Honkers does have the advantage right now with taking out that taking 2 down on Sunrise, but then they go down 2 as well with that weight breaker popping off. Doesn't look like it's going to mark anyone. That Splatana is already moving in and trying to, already gets a trade off Jazzy there for a moment, and the CDS is really just trying to paint a lot as he's getting like killer whaled, and he jumps right out as a safe mood as he's cornered right there.
Yeah, if he stayed there, he definitely would have went down, but jumping back gives him his specials, the charge on his special, and then also some time for him to reposition.
Yeah, both sides looking like they're not getting a whole lot of big pushes off. Only scores showing right now is just like about 12 and 5 right now.
Sunrise does have the advantage right now, and they do try to push it, but I think 1 goes down.
Yeah, no, it definitely, but even still, both teams are still trying to fight mid. Both are in kind of a neutral game right now. The Splatana is already trying to make a sneak attack here on this Gal. Gal pops a killer whale, and Honkers is again on a 3v3 situation right now. It's a fight right now. The Gal comes out victorious, and Honkers looking like they might, if they're able to get a couple more picks here, which they are, they might be able to push this tower up. And that's exactly what they're going to do.
We see the killer whale coming out from the Tri-Stringer, but the 52 Gal went down a little early before the tower actually gets any momentum going.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like while Honkers are making those picks plays right now, they're not able to get a whole lot off it because it's immediately after they kill another person, the next person's already respawned and is already heading back. And we already see Sunrise going 2 down again. Is Honkers going to take this advantage to try to go on the tower? It seems like that they're kind of sort of ignoring it, but they're 3 down. This is Honkers' chance to currently right now turn the tide of battle and get a push going.
Yeah, we can see the 52 Gal, again, pushing up first, and still going down first as well, not able to hold his ground.
Yeah, already Honker's taking that lead, but still it is not that safe of a lead. They're trying to push checkpoint right now, and that Tri-Stringer is trying to find some shots right now, especially on that Gal right there. But Honkers is already basically almost, well, pretty much partially wiped as that CDS is pretty much on respawn. So it's going to allow Sunrise to start moving up.
Yeah, and we can see Sunrise has the 2 Splatanas pushing up together. Unlike for Honkers, who just had the 52 Gal pushing up by himself.
Yeah, Honkers already though, they have a strong push going. I mean, no, Sunrise, my apologies. Sunrise is having a really good push going off right now. They are just going down and snowballing this tower all the way across. Honkers is having really hard trouble trying to keep him out. It looks like there's a trade, a very delayed trade there, but oh, that's Splatana's kill though. That's a wipe. Honkers is definitely in a lot of trouble, and it might be the win for them.
Yeah, Honkers only has a couple seconds left, and I think it might be over.
Yeah, just like that, Sunrise just had a huge momentum push going right there, and Honkers was just not able to go ahead and rebound from that, or at least stop their push. And Sunrise is going to take game 2 in this week 3 set.
Yeah, and we can see that the reason why Sunrise was able to push up so fast, just with the one single push, was because they were able to take care of their plat, having both the Splatanas there, taking space, making sure no one can come in. And we can see here that the 2 Splatanas are pushing up. We see the delayed trade that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, no, I think that delayed trade helped them a little bit. We can see, but there's also numerous factors here, like that Splatana getting that really lucky kill there, and then the wipe from the side of the splash. It just ultimately, that's what sealed them the game, and like, yeah, they just had really good momentum. Whereas Honkers, when they did have advantage, it felt like they were being a little too slow in terms of trying to move up. Sunrise, however, when they had the advantage, they took it.
Yeah, and now we're transitioning over to our third game. We have Undertow's Rainmaker on Undertow Spillway.
Undertow Spillway. One of the most at least from the majority that I've heard, one of the most disliked maps in this game. Honestly, Undertow Spillway, especially as a Rainmaker map, it's really tough, especially since that Rainmaker spawns in like the middle wall area, and that middle wall area is thin.
Yeah, and also there's 2 checkpoints on this map. There's one on the left side towards like that back area, and one on the right side. Most people tend to push towards that left side, but we could occasionally see people taking the right side if the opposing team is wiped.
Yeah, no. Definitely I honestly do not have a lot of experience with Undertow Rainmaker, but I know definitely for the checkpoints and stuff, there's definitely a safe way to take this, and there is definitely the way that you should only take if like the entire team's dead, like you mentioned. Wow, we're already off to start. Both teams are ready to go.
Yeah, and we see the Clash Blaster coming out. I believe that's from Honkers.
Clash. Oh yes, I love to see Clash gameplay here.
And we also see that Sunrise drops the backline and goes for a more fast comp.
Yeah, definitely. We have sloshing. It looks like more of a mid-range to mostly short-range comp here, with both the sloshing machine and the Splatana. Mainly the Splatana is going to be giving most of that range, and Honkers right now is already moving up. It's already still neutral game as like both members go down. on either side. Honkers does go 2 down, and it's going to allow Sunrise to start moving up here.
Yeah, and we can see again, Sunrise is trying to move as fast as they can, just making sure taking advantage of the time that they have when they have the advantage on the other team.
Yeah, I do believe they moved a little too fast, but that does not matter as they are continuing to still have control, and the trade on the dualies and the shot is going to allow them to get that checkpoint there. 2 down already again by Honkers. And yeah, it's really not looking good for Honkers right here. They need to try to come up with a game plan, and so far, yeah, they aren't doing a lot of pairing up here. So they need to try to get it together and try to get some picks here. Or I mean, try to work together here.
Yeah, and we can see the Crab Tank coming out. The Crab Tank taking a lot of space, being able to take down, I believe that was the splatter shot earlier. And we see that Sunrise is just pushing in again, getting more points, gets it to 10 points.
Wow, yeah, that's going to be a really, really good push to them. That's going to put a lot of pressure on Honkers, and they're all just sitting on this catwalk. Oh my goodness, that Clash gets a double right there. And that's 3 down on the side of Sunrise. Honkers may have a chance here to try to move up and try to get mid before that Rainmaker resets.
Yeah, but it looks like they're taking too much time to get to mid. They're even barely getting to where the Rainmaker would reset. And they're 2 down again.
Yeah, no, already I think while they were trying to move up, they were a little too slow. They already got wiped, and it's Sunrise is going to head and going to try to push this even further as quick as they can. But it looks like Honkers right here is able to stop that push. But yeah, their 2 front lines going down there again is not going to do well in terms of trying to keep mid for them.
And we can see here, Sunrise is still trying to put up pressure. We can see that Tetra Dualies right by the end checkpoint.
They do get caught out though, but it was long enough a distraction that Sunrise is still able to hold on to, and recollect at mid. And we can see right now Sunrise is once again putting Honkers in like a death grip scenario. We have a Tri Zuka coming out right here. E-Leader trying to find some shots right now. I don't think that leader's in the best position right now to try to get those shots, but we already see right now 2 down again on the side of Honkers as Sunrise is trying to pop that Rainmaker and get another push going, or at least apply pressure with that Rainmaker.
Yeah, and we can see that the reason why Sunrise was able to keep pressure on was they used 2 specials together. They decided to use their Crab Tank and the Zipcaster at the same time to make sure to keep Honkers distracted while the rest of the team was regrouping.
Yeah, and already Sunrise trying to run it up, trying to get that juicy KO, but right now Honkers is saying no to that. And they're just going ahead and stopping their Rainmaker runs as quick as they can, but they aren't able to stop Sunrise from keeping control into their area and just keep on picking up that Rainmaker. But thankfully, I think Honkers is just mainly just trying to force a non-KO match and just hope that Sunrise isn't able to KO this Rainmaker.
Yeah, and Honkers has a good chance to keep moving up, but the splatter shot actually goes down, and Sunrise just keeps pressuring up to that spawn area.
Yeah, no, definitely. We already see Sunrise is still in their area. They haven't made a lot of... Honkers has not made a lot of progress trying to move up here. We already see the Clash trying to come in on his own. Luckily, it seems like he does have a buddy with him, thankfully. But yeah, right now Honkers really struggling to try to get that paint control. Really, really struggling with the Sunrise's firepower here. And oh no, we already see that shot go in. And yeah, unfortunately, they do go down here. And that Splash manages to get a double kill right there.
Yeah, and we see 2 down again from Honkers. They're unable to get past pretty much that ramp area by their spawn. And the Tetra Dualies are just holding control, making sure that they can't move past that ledge.
Yeah, already we can see Sunrise is just trying to keep them out, trying to keep them locked out as that countdown hits 0, and Sunrise is gonna take game 3 in this set, having a strong, once again, a strong grip on Honkers and keeping them right where they need them to be, in their spawn.
Yeah, and we can see Sunrise again, just making sure they have control, pushing up when they have the lead on the person advantage, and using their specials to hold control.
Yeah, definitely. I see a lot of like good plays on the side of Sunrise. I see a lot of good stuff. And also like just see here, Sunrise here just moving up, trying to keep that mid control as they're working together as a unit, moving in, even with the Tetras being a distraction there. And Honkers is just struggling with with Sunrise's like momentum. They're just able to just keep that pressure on them. Honkers is not able to do much, especially with most of their Slayers just trying to get in. But when they do get that push, it's already too late, and that ends the game right then and there.
Yeah, for Honkers, there's only 2 more games that they can lose until the set is over. Maybe Mako Mart Zones can actually give them a chance to get back. I know this is a very liked map mode for a lot of people.
Mako is, from what I heard from most of the people and from my experience, Mako is probably one of the maps that like everyone just enjoys. But especially since like it's pretty well balanced. There are certain areas where you need to hold control, and like it's not it's pretty perfect. And here in Mako Zones, it's a classic map mode, dating back all the way from 2. I mean, this set is real. This set is going to be really, really nice to watch, and I might think that Sunrise might be able to keep Honkers out again. But it's LUTI. Anything can happen. Maybe Honkers makes a comeback here. I can't wait to see.
Yeah, Honkers can make that reverse sweep. And we might see from Sunrise, they might stick with the more aggressive comp on Mako Mart, just because holding control of the zone first and making sure to lock out your opponents can make this game very fast.
I do hope that Honkers do keep their leader in. I do feel like that's one of the pressure points for Honkers, and I feel like if they get rid of that leader, it'll be a pretty odd choice. But like, even though they have a leader on there, it's still going to provide a lot of range pressure. And if Sunrise decides to run an aggro comp again, and if the leader can hit shots, it's going to be a huge benefit for Honkers, especially since some of their comps do lack on the range pressure.
Yes, indeed. And what we want to try to see from Honkers is just them moving faster into space when they have the advantage and making sure they don't let Sunrise keep that space and keep control.
Yeah, definitely. I also do believe that if they are able to move in as a unit on this set, they may have a chance to try to actually win a game here. And we're already going into splat zones, Mako, and Sunrise still opting in for the close range comp.
Yeah, and we see Honkers switching from the E-Leader to the Hydra Splat lane, and then also bringing out the Splattershot Pro, more specifically the Forge variant.
Yeah, and it's already starting to work wonders on Honkers right now as they do get a pick. It's 2 down on both sides, and right now Sunrise is going down right now. Honkers is still holding on to that zone with the rollers sitting in there nice and pretty. And yeah, right now Sunrise is the one that is struggling right now.
Yeah, we can see Sunrise pushing back in with 2 specials. They already activated the Crab Tank. Is the Tri Strike going to come out?
No, but we're already seeing a Booyah. All their specials are coming out, and right now they do cap the zone. Sunrise is able to cap that zone. They managed to catch and punish that Hydra moving way too far forward there, and Honkers now has a pretty steady lead, but they need to try to move back in as a unit and try to hold that zone and get a penalty cap on Sunrise.
Yeah, and we see 2 down on Honkers again. Sunrise, although they had 1 down, they're coming back in really fast.
Yeah, we can already see that a Booyah did get thrown. Not a lot was done. It did stall the zone for just a short while. That Hydra's looking like it has a little trouble there with a Fizzy throw on top of it. But right now, Honkers is asserting dominance once again. The rower manages to get a sneaky pick here, but unfortunately another Booyah comes out. It doesn't paint it that much, and Tri-Strike comes out. Sunrise is just trying to keep Honkers locked out right here, and they're looking like they're on a track to victory.
Yeah, that like reversed really fast. Honkers had control at the beginning, but they were unable to lock Sunrise out, especially because of Sunrise's faster comp.
Yeah, it definitely did help that Sunrise did have a faster comp, but there were also times where Honker's backline was moving a little too far forward, and Honkers did ultimately pay the price for that as when that Hydra went down there, and Sunrise, with that range gone, knew that they can just jump right on top of them and just completely obliterate them and like move them out of the way.
Yeah, we can see this roller comes in for the flank. They get one kill. They're trying to get a second one, but then gets caught out by that bomb.
Yeah, that roller was really trying to make something happen, and that booyah there, unfortunately, I think that hit the wall, and that's what caused it not to paint that much. But if that booyah hit the ground, it might have stalled the zone a little bit and bought a little bit of time for Honkers to try to regroup. But unfortunately, Sunrise was able to keep that zone hold on them, and Honkers was ultimately not able to do much with that.
Yeah, and this is a crunch time for Honkers. They are 0-4. For them to win this set, they need to take the reverse sweep, starting with brine water clams.
Brine water, brine water, brine water. Oh boy, this one, weirdly enough, I kind of like it. Weirdly enough, I kind of like it on some modes. I think Clams is one of those modes where I do like this map. But it is definitely pretty small. It's a pretty small map. But even so, if you manage to take a hold of the enemy's ramp, or if you manage to take a hold of the enemy's ramp there, it's just a scot-free, straight line into their basket. And this might work well with Sunrise, especially with their super aggro comp against Honkers. I feel like with their aggro comp, Sunrise is going to be able to take control of mid really quickly, and then when they have that momentum going, they're going to ride on with that momentum and just go all the way up the ramp and get that basket. Especially since when they see momentum and when they see a chance, they take it and they snowball with it.
Yeah, but Honkers does have that backline. They do have that E-leader. And we know from how small brine water is, they can shoot from their snipe to the opponent's side of the snipe too. So they might be able to take control and make sure to lock down Sunrise. But we'll have to see if they stick with it.
Yeah, definitely. I do think they're going to play some sort of backline weapon. I'm already seeing their one player always switch between some sort of backline weapon. It's been E-leader, it's been Hydra. I'm curious to see what they bring out here right now. Alright, and it looks like they did bring out the Hydra again, and on the side of Sunrise, they brought out a leader. It looks like Sunrise is opting in to go a little bit less aggressive, but they are going to opt in for more of that range pressure.
Yeah, and we can see the Custom Junior coming out of Sunrise. That Wavebreaker gonna have so much control in mid. Just throwing that out, you can see it gets to both sides of the bottom ramp.
Yeah, and that leader is scoped in right now. 3 down on the side of Honkers with the last one on the left. I don't know if that leader is calling them out or not, but it seems like right now that Sunrise is just going to be able to move in with this regardless. But it's just the leader, and it looks like Sunrise is only going to be able to get that one power clam in as that leader is forced to retreat.
Yeah, this gives Honkers a good chance to take over mid and get a little bit of map control.
Yep, and already Honkers has that map control right now. It's 2 down on the side of Sunrise. If this shot manages to get the kill, they do get the trade. It's just the leader again. This is really looking good in the side of Honkers. And it looks like they're going to try to go for a jump here. The Hydra going in, moving in for a jump, but that leader's waiting. And the leader misses the shot, and they get the power clam in, and they're going to take lead right here.
Yeah, but we can see that Sunrise is just all over that basket goal area, making sure... Oh, and I think we have a disconnection.
Yeah, one member of Sunrise down on the disconnect, but it seems like both teams right now are still playing it out. Sunrise still thinks they have sort of a chance here to get the 5-0 on them, but we'll have to see as both sides continue to play and both sides are trying to really, or at least Sunrise is really trying to hold back and really waiting for an opportunity to try to move back in.
Yeah, especially because now this is a 3v4 for Sunrise. They have to be a little more patient to take control.
And we already see the wipeout, and Sunrise, this is Sunrise's chance to take the lead here. And already we're seeing that counter go down, 46-43. It's just the Junior. The Junior's going to try to throw some extra clams in, but that's going to be a partial wipe on the side of Sunrise here. The Dualies go down again. It's just the leader. Honkers needs to act on this momentum right now and get a power ready to go, as they're in a huge advantage right now with that partial wipe and with that Dualies going down instantly again.
Yes, indeed. And we can see that Honkers is trying to push up. They actually take down the Dualies again, but the shot goes down.
Yeah, oh no, and it looks like again the Junior gets a double. They get the wipe on the side of Honkers. And once again, Honkers has another unsuccessful push, unfortunately. Sunrise is going to try to get more points on the board, but immediately is stopped by a suction bomb. Three people are there. 3 people are in mid. Honkers is just trying to defend and wait for another push, and hopefully they might be able to get this chance here if they manage to find that Junior. Oh, and someone goes down to the wave breaker, unfortunately. Someone did not practice jump rope.
They definitely did not play that single player. The single player, I believe it was like the one that you just keep jumping waves.
Yeah, no, that one is definitely a toughie. But anyways, we're already seeing Sunrise once again having no difficulty whatsoever moving back into mid. They're holding that mid control. The E-leader goes down, so their range is gone. 2 go down on the side of Sunrise. Honkers does have another chance here to start trying to move up here. They are taking that mid control right now. They have 2 power clams on the map, and there's a minute 20, so they still have plenty of time to try to make a move here and at least try to get into the basket once again.
Yeah, and we can see that 52 gal taking the rail on Rhinewater. Clan Blitz is actually the only map, or the only mode that there is the rail on the tree side for Rhinewater.
Yeah, we can see Jazzy here trying to shark here, but that's not going to work because they have an always-on point sensor on them, being that power clam. They're starting to move in once again. Honkers tries to move in. That leader is going to deny that power clam toss. But right now, Honkers getting both their power clams, and they get the lead with both power clams thrown in for Honkers as 2 go down in Sunrise, and it's looking like that Honkers is going to be taking a game here.
Yeah, and Honkers just keeping up that pressure. It was really important that only one of them went down during that whole initial push when they got to the basket.
And yeah, there's the KO sealing the deal. Honkers effectively takes game 5 here on this LUTI set. Honkers is going ahead and proving that they can go ahead and try to get some games in, especially against a 3v4 team.
Yeah, and we can see Honkers trying to build that momentum back up, getting 1 win at a time. Maybe they can pull off this reverse sweep.
Definitely. It does look like that they might have a chance here. Like that push was looking really dicey, but then one of their members managed to grab a clam and the other one grabbed the other clam, and they were able to just go ahead and open that basket up. And especially since they took down that leader, that just allowed them an open door in. Especially if Sunrise goes down a player, Honkers has a huge advantage, especially since Sunrise is working with a DC here. So especially that leader was key in terms of trying to move in and trying to get rid of their range pressure. And yeah, ultimately just snowballed from there. Honkers was able to take the victory, and yeah, that was the game.
Yeah, and we don't know if like that disconnect would have changed anything of the outcome, but you never know. We're going into Flounder Tower Control.
Flounder Tower Control, yes indeed. Flounder Tower Control it's Flounder Tower Control. I've experimented with this map a couple of times. Flounder Tower Control, it has interesting checkpoint spots. I think. Very, very interesting checkpoint spots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just personally for Flounder, there's so much elevation. It's actually, the mid is the toppest point while you're trying to get into it compared to most maps like Brine where mid is the lowest point of the map.
Yeah, no, definitely. So it's going to be a lot harder, especially for those backline ranged weapons. With that high vertical height of Flounder, it's definitely going to be a lot harder to try to find some really good snipe spots, at least for mid. And ultimately, Flounder's a interesting map. I mean, I probably say this for every single map in existence because the game is just ultimately interesting. But Flounder Heights is a very interesting map, especially with that vertical height.
Yeah, there's lots of flanks that will probably be happening from Sunrise, especially because we can see from the first 4 games that they are an aggressive group. They are an aggressive team, making sure that they're holding pressure.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see if they can hold that pressure and hold that aggression. And I'm actually curious, are they going to keep that backline? They do keep that backline, but it looks like they're opting into more of a mid to high range comp versus a more aggressive comp. But still, their aggression mostly lies with that T-Tech and that Splatana Viper.
Yeah, and we can see the initial push going in for Sunrise, and they take one down right away.
So does Honkers as well. That Splatana Viper already going down, and that flank does get called out as the Stamper moves back in to try to get that pick. They do get the pick for the shot, and oh no, I just saw a member of Honkers go down there, and it looks like that they aren't going to be able to do a whole lot. Yeah, that Tri-Strike does manage to take him out, and Honkers is already on a partial wipe with those CDS going down immediately after.
Yeah, and we can see that Sunrise is putting the pressure onto Honkers, making sure that they take care of this ramp area.
Yep, already Sunrise does have a really good push going on right now. Honkers is going to struggle trying to take back their zone and trying to stop them from getting a checkpoint. Roller trying to move in on his own, trying to make a hero play here. Unfortunately, that does not work. We already see the shot here, making some movements on them. Honkers is once again trying to get on that tower. The Tri-Strike gets thrown out, and the leader is Sunrise still holding on control, still keeping Honkers back right now, and the leader just took out their back line.
Yeah, and we can see the splatter shots just trying to get into the zone. They have the roller out already, taking off one person, especially the E-leader, giving them a little more space to work with.
Yeah, and I am liking the idea here that some members of Honkers are chucking bombs on that tower. That's what they need to do right now to try to keep them away from that tower and trying to keep them from trying to get past that checkpoint. But right now, with that done, Honkers does have some room to breathe, but it doesn't look like that's the case, as a member of Sunrise did manage to sneak in and make sure that they didn't have a lot of room to breathe, taking 2 down with them and resetting that tower to mid.
Yeah, and we can see Honkers trying to get back through the ramp area, taking one down and getting a little bit more space.
Yeah, we can already see that leader trying to move in, trying to put down a point sensor to do something, but I don't think that point sensor is going to do a whole lot on the side of Honkers. We already see a member of Sunrise trying to go ahead and keep hold of mid. We see the Stamper going ahead and flanking one. Both Splatanas are trying to flank, but the Stamper does go down from the shot as they trade. Leader getting a really nice pick there, and Honkers does need to start painting up with this momentum right now. As 2 go down on Sunrise, this might be a shot for Honkers to try to get some points on the board.
Ooh, and a good snipe from the enemy charger on Honker. I believe that's Honker's side. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but Honkers is definitely starting to get points on the board. Sunrise is going in with that Splatana Stamper right now with the special popped off. And we can already see a jump going on the tower. Honkers trying to get some points, and they do get past that checkpoint, but right now they need to get more than just that checkpoint. They need to still move up, and they are once again in a struggle bus with trying to move up against Sunrise here.
Yeah, but Honkers does have the number advantage right now. Although they have the splatter shot did go down, they are still trying to push this tower.
Yep, definitely. Honkers is starting to take advantage of this man advantage, but they are unfortunately moving a little too slow and allowing Sunrise to reposition themselves. And immediately they get wiped because of a result of that. Honkers is just moving too slow a bit on the too slow on the momentum, and Sunrise is able to just hold back, wait for the perfect time to just move in and completely remove Honkers from the environment.
Yeah, and we can see Sunrise, after that wipe, immediately just pushes towards their ramp, making sure that they take control.
Yep, indeed. Sunrise going ahead and popping in that tri-strike right there. And that CDS is a little bit in trouble. Unfortunately, they do not get the pick here. But it does look like 3 down on the side of Honkers. They are in a lot of trouble here. Their shot coming in trying to flank right here. And, well, the Splatana Stampers manages to pick them off. And Sunrise is still going to be able to move that tower, but Honkers needs to get together and needs to play as a unit. Otherwise, this might be the end for them in their entire set.
Yeah, and we can see they're trying to slowly move up, but they got to start moving a little faster. There's not a lot of time left on the tower, or for the tower.
Yeah, and already we can see Sunrise holding them back, and it's looking like that Sunrise is going to be the Week 3 champions, and they're going to be taking this set here as they end it with 5-1.
Yeah, and we can see the reason why Sunrise was able to pretty much steamroll them was not steamroll, but like have that momentum is because they just kept the pressure up, making sure that Honkers had nowhere to go.
Indeed, yeah. I would say though, even on the side of Honkers, they did play really good matches here. They were starting to get that team cohesion together, but unfortunately, they still were a bit too slow on trying to gain momentum and trying to see those advantages. And we can see here Honkers' valiant attempt to try to push tower here and try to get some points on the board, but unfortunately, Sunrise is able to just come back. They're able to gather up together and take things slow, and they're able to ultimately keep that tower in the lead. And we can see right there that leader just getting some nasty shots right there, managing to help out with that wipe right there. I mean, honestly, Sunrise had a lot of those advantages. They knew the advantages that they had, and they knew when they were at a disadvantage, and it ultimately led them to continue to work together and achieve victory tonight.
Yeah. And I think that's the end for us today. For this set. Dino, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Dynamite Central, or you can find me on Twitch on twitch.tv/Dynamite Central. I'm starting to get a stream schedule back up, but hopefully that should be soon. But yeah, those are the places that you can find me at. Where can the lovely people here in chat find you, Rice?
Yeah, you can see my tag earlier. Most of my accounts are We Like Rice, but I usually go by Rice. And I'm also, for the next set, my team is getting casted. I play for Chirality, and you can always just find us around. We're always trying to play more tournaments, and we're always improving as a team. But that's it for me, and let me throw it back to our great host, Falco.
All right. Hey, that was a really fun set to watch, you guys. Sunrise just seemed really dominant, and I think that especially showed in Game 3 with Rainmaker, them playing it like it's Splat Zones, just locking out the opponents. And then in Game 5, when they had that disconnect, you're up 4-0, why not go in and try to get the 5-0 knockout? Who cares if you're down 3-4? But fortunately for Honkers, they got a win there, but Sunrise, again, turning it around in Game 6 and winning 5-1. But yes, like you both said, Dynamite and Rice, we have 2 more sets that are coming up your way. We have Chirality versus Crystal Coral, followed by Black Squid Ink Burger versus Cephalus Squad. And our next match, Chirality and Crystal Coral, that's going to be happening in about 30 minutes or so, a little less than 30 minutes. So we're going to stay online, we're going to take a break, we're going to get everything transitioned before we welcome Anderson and Weave Slider back into the commentator booth for the first time. But with that, we will be right back. You guys are watching LUTI Tonight on Splatoon Tourney.
think it might be over.
Yeah, just like that, Sunrise just had a huge flash, manages to get a double kill right there.
Yeah, and we see 2 down again from Honkers. They're unable to get past pretty much that ramp area by their spawn, and the Tetra Dualies are just holding control, making sure that they can't move past that ledge.
Yeah, already we can see Sunrise is just trying to keep him out, trying to keep him locked out as that countdown hits 0, and Sunrise is gonna take game 3 in this set, having a strong, once again, like it has a little trouble there with a Fizzy Throw on top of it, but right now Honkers is asserting dominance once again. The Roar manages to get a sneaky pick here, but unfortunately another Booyah comes out. It doesn't paint it that much, and Tri Strike comes out. Oh, Sunrise is just trying to keep Honkers locked out right here, and they're looking like they're on a track to victory.
Yeah, that reversed really fast. Honkers had control at the beginning.
Dualies go down again, it's just the leader. Honkers needs to act on this momentum right now and get a power ready to go, as they're in a huge advantage right now with that partial wipe and with that Dualies going down instantly again.
Yes, indeed, and we can see that Honkers is trying to push up. They actually take down the Dualies again, but the shot goes down.
Yeah, oh no, and it looks like, again, the Junior gets a double. They get the wipe on the side of Honkers to move in. That leader is going to deny that Power Clam toss. But right now, Honkers getting both their Power Clams, and they get the lead with both Power Clams thrown in for Honkers as 2 go down to Sunrise, and it's looking like that Honkers is going to be taking a game here.
Yeah, and Honkers just keeping up that pressure. It was really important that only one of them went down during that whole initial push when they got to the basket.
And yeah, there's the KO sealing the deal. Just that checkpoint, they need to still move up, and they are once again in a struggle bus with trying to move up against Sunrise here.
Yeah, but Honkers does have the number advantage right now. Although they have, the Spider Shot did go down, they are still trying to push this tower.
Yep, definitely Honkers is starting to take advantage of this man advantage, but they are unfortunately moving a little too slow and allowing Sunrise to reposition themselves.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to LUTI Tonight. We are getting ready for our next set, Chirality versus Crystal Coral. Both of these teams undefeated, Chirality 2-0, Crystal Coral 3-0. On the mic, we have Ansonin and Weefstrider. Ansonin, take it away for this set.
Thank you very much, Falco. Today we've got a really good set, as said by Falco. We have Chirality versus Crystal Coral, and I am not the only caster. I'm here joined by the amazing Weef. Weef, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Weef. I actually know a bit about both of these teams, and it's looking like it's going to be a very interesting set for us. I know that they're both around, they're both fairly new, around 4 to 6 months old, and so, they are on pretty even playing field in terms of how long they've been able to work together and build that chemistry.
And as we all know, Crystal Coral has no team members.
Oh.
No, just kidding. They're made up of a pretty good team that has a pretty good team comp that they like to run, and I'm excited to see it brought out on Scorch Clan Blitz.
Scorch is a map that gets ragged on kind of it, but actually it's fairly fun to watch and fun to play in Clan Blitz, I feel like.
It ain't Mahi. And
it's not Mahi.
That's all we can say, It's a good map then. And it
As we get into it,
it certainly ain't Moray Towers. So now we get into it. We see an E-Leader, a Junior, Custom Junior, Splash and Tetra from the side of Crystal. And on the other side, we see a Ranged Blaster, Wasabi, Splash, and Octobrush come out from Chirality.
Ranged Blaster is always a fun pick. It's not something you see too often right now, but it's certainly fun to watch. And we see from Crystal Coral a fairly fast comp with the Tetris, and obviously the ever-present Splash-O-Matic on both teams.
I mean, when are we gonna get a Splash-O-Matic not on a team?
We do see a full wipe on the side of Crystal Coral as Chirality is able to get one clam in. We'll see if they're able to continue this push, but they're 2 down right now. They're kind of backing up. They're getting cornered, but they do manage to make it out. But that will be a wipe on their side.
Pretty good push, I would say, from that was Crystal, but now Crab's coming out, and it looks like Crystal's about to make another push. That's what I'm seeing.
It's actually they're rebounding. It was Chirality that got the first push here.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so. But
this looks like it's going to be a pretty strong rebound. We see specials coming out. The crap coming out from Chirality, but they do lose a lead as 2 super clams do go in. And they're all but wiped right now.
Seems like that's all it's going to be. Quick and easy. Not a lot of time rundown on the clock there. Just 2 super clans, and now both teams are fighting for mid. See the E-Leader, E-leading.
Just trying to get any of those picks. The Zipcaster doing a fantastic job of distracting them and getting them out. They're going to get jump camped, though, unfortunately. They're 2 down, losing a bit of mid control here, giving Crystal Core a bit of room to move up if they take advantage of that.
And it seems like that's what they are doing. That's what they were doing. It looks like they backed off and are willing to just play for mid again. Just giving Chirality an angle to get back into here, and Octobush is scrapping. If whoever gets the next pick here, will probably just win mid.
This is an incredibly unsafe lead for Crystal Coral here. All it would take is a super clam and 1 clam, so they're really going to have to try to make another push here and definitely prevent Chirality from making another one if they're going to try to take this game.
You see, both teams have a power clam. Don't know if that's their city clan. Doesn't seem to appear to be. And Chirality making a good push with both clams, but not quite making it in.
Yeah.
That is
big scrap here over by the basket of Crystal Coral. It's constant. There's and we're gonna see a wipeout here on the side of Crystal Coral. All 4 members going down.
Going actually insane, but unfortunately both power clams were destroyed. But they made a new one, and now it's just 1 clam away from the lead, and there it is.
Did you see this measly? This Octobrush is going insane. They're on a massive streak, just distracting while while their team is gonna probably be able to get back in. Not quite in time, but they still have mid, and so Crystal Coral is really gonna have to fight to get back the map control that they would need to make a push. And with only a minute and a half left on the clock, that's gonna be a big task.
There might be a controversial opinion, but I think either brushes they're really good slayers in this meta right now because
We do-
they work
sorry.
well against Crab.
We do see Crystal Coral, all 4 specials at the ready. The Crab gets popped, but this is going to be great ground for a push if they can use these specials correctly. And only the Crab has gone out, and the rest of they're just holding, trying to wait for the right moment. The Crab coming out from Chirality here, but they're looking, it's pretty neutral.
Now it's 2 specials because the junior goes down. I don't believe with that deploying Wave Breaker. So now it's okay. Now it's just the E leader with Vacuum.
Oh yeah, and Chirality gets pushed, or is pushing all the way up into Crystal Coral's base, but with only 30 seconds left on the clock, and only their Pity Clam, and all 3 members going down, it's going to be very hard for Crystal Coral to take this back. They actually might. We're seeing Chirality here. If they could just make a ball, it'd be game over. No, not even a chance for overtime. But they are backing up a little bit.
Control of mid. This is Chirality's map right here. Though you never know. Overtime, 1 power clam. They have Crystal now has control of mid, 2 power clam.
They go 3 down. Oh, and all they need is 1 more clam.
1 clam.
Let's see if they. Oh, and they do it! Wow, against all odds. Incredibly well executed there. We saw Chirality back off at the very end there, which they had control of Crystal Coral's basket, which could have ended up spiraling into a push and just locking them out and preventing them from being able to take mid again and their basket and finally getting that game.
And that will be Scorch Gorge going to Crystal Core. Now we're going to move on to Museum Delph. Did anybody think that last part of this map name was ever going to be pronounceable? Come on. We're going to Museum. Tower. In terms of Museum, I think Tower is, in my opinion, the worst med for it. Controversial, maybe. But that's just my opinion.
I think they're all pretty solid.
Like pulling out the snipers, the chargers, and
I know for a fact that Chirality really likes running their blaster, and which blaster is usually favored on tower control. So we'll definitely see that again.
Obviously, and that is probably going to be a good. There's going to be a difference. We're pretty sure that Chirality is going to bring the ranged blaster on Museum, and both sides are probably going to bring an E-leader.
I would not be surprised.
I feel like E-leader is such a great pick on this map. Well, let's just see what they bring.
Yeah, we'll see. We do see an E-leader from Chirality. And there's that E-leader scope from Crystal Coral. As we predicted, we see the range blaster, and otherwise, Crystal Coral's comp hasn't changed. They did swap the C Junior out for the V Junior for that bubble that's ever so useful in tower control.
The factually better Junior. As a junior player from Splatoon 2, I named the Kensa Splattershot Junior. I know. I don't play Junior much anymore, but I've always loved the V Junior in this, and especially in tower control. That big bubble is so good. Well, not so much with Crab right now, but it is such a good push tool and a map control tool.
Speaking of pushing, Crystal Coral is looking to make their way through the first checkpoint here, running off of a 2-down situation that they got at the very start, and they're still getting picks up at the front, and they have the plat down, locked.
They have plat.
There's 3 down, it's only the leader. And they're definitely going to get this other checkpoint, and with 1 checkpoint, in the first minute, it's extremely good to have
Crab,
the first checkpoint, all with the last checkpoint.
There. It's really so close to the spawn of Chirality. This is really dominant from Crystal.
a complete lockout, basically. And unless they can take it around fast, it's going to be game. And there we have it.
There it is. A very, very quick knockout. 100-0, no points at all gained on the side of Chirality. And you couldn't ask for a better game, too. I feel like the winner in that match had to be definitely that splash. Those crabs, we saw a crab come out early on the first push, the first checkpoint. Second checkpoint. Get the first one exists. And
it's pretty close.
And another farther. Look how far this splash is.
Yeah, no, they're all the way pushed up into their spawn.
And then just pops crab as soon as they get it, and
we all know how strong that crab is. Like, there's
the great words of Sheldon, all hail crab tank.
Yeah. You're an E-liter mixed with a Hydra, mixed with a Explo, and with massive armor, and if you are able to get into a strong position like that, there's not going to be a whole lot that can take you down. And so for around 13 seconds, you just have their spawn locked out, and nobody is able to contest that checkpoint. However, I still do believe there is a shining light for Chirality. We did see that first game go pretty close, so it's definitely hope's not lost yet.
Now we're going into Undertow Spillway, Rainmaker. I like this Rainmaker. I think it's a lot more long. I like my maps to last longer, and not to be really easy to get a really fast push on. And the ramp and that little hallway area, as I like to call it, on that set on to the final checkpoint on Undertow, is such a really good bottleneck that we can see the range blaster is going to be great here. Ranged blaster is going to be great for preventing a knockout.
As long as they're not dead at the time of pushing. That's
course.
That's always the kicker. Undertow is a very interesting map. I think it's pretty relatively controversial in that some people love it, some people hate it. I personally am mixed, but it's got a lot of really interesting geometry, and that big ridge or bridge or whatever you want to call it down mid just makes it so interesting, as there's two different sides. It's almost reminiscent of Snapper Canal from Splatoon 2. And the way that you have to play it.
Now that you're saying that, this map does remind me of Snapper Canal.
Yeah, you have that big ledge overwatching mid. It's just a bit more compressed, and yeah, it's definitely interesting to play on.
Very. Well, let's see what the teams bring out. We're gonna see a range blaster in a brush. No sniper coming out from the side of
Ankylos comp on their side. And
on the side of Crystal, just a swap from the B Junior back to the C Junior.
Chirality gets that first pop, and they are trying to bully, it looks like, the E-liter off of their glass. Very strong spot for them to hold at the beginning, and if they can get that pick on the E-liter, it's huge. Two are down on the side of Crystal Coral, and they decide to make a push. We'll see if they're able to get the checkpoint. They're hot in the They get very close, but aren't unfortunately able to make it.
But most of Chirality is there to pop and push that Rainmaker right to the checkpoint. The Octobrush didn't get that kill, unfortunate.
Yeah. We might see a wipe here on the side of Chirality. There it is. They're going to jump off the Rainmaker just to give him a little bit extra space. And Chirality is going to come out here, all four members pretty much together, able to fight back on the counter push that is surely coming.
And we see Reef Slider, the worst special in the game, get shut down.
My namesake. Anyway,
unfortunate. Honestly, should have just kept Splashdown. Now
it's just a scrap in mid. Chirality is going to pick up again, not giving Crystal Coral much room to breathe, but and two are going down. The checkpoint is mostly uncontested, other than that splash that was there that got swiftly picked off. They get the checkpoint and immediately get sniped. It's a classic.
Classic. We see the Killer Whale come out on the side of Chirality. in terms of that, this is really where
With 3 down again, it's just the leader. Leader's gonna have to really hope they're going for some risky plays there, and they do get eventually picked. Now here's that hallway that we were talking about. We'll see if they're able to make it.
Trying to go on the wall and around, that is a very smart play. Most teams just try to get a squid roll through, or a dodge roll through, and try to get as much points that way.
Yeah, I really haven't seen that much before.
You don't get the luxury of swimming in your own ink, and you most likely die midway through.
Right now, Crystal Coral has a chance to make a little comeback here, as mid is mostly neutral, but yeah.
Getting a lot of picks this game, and we saw this a couple matches before. This Octobrush is just really good at slaying.
Yeah.
One of the best slaying weapons in the game. Especially with the skill ceiling of how much carpal tunnel do you want.
And we are seeing the Zipcaster coming out, trying to get that E leader out of the way, as it's just a big fight in mid again, just to see if they can take the Rainmaker. And they do end up picking it up. 2 go down on the side of Corrality. They going for the right, which is something you don't see very often.
It's a lot riskier, especially because you don't get if you do get that checkpoint, which is technically closer, I think. There's a lot more flat area to move around.
Rainmaker gets reset.
But you don't have a really easy way to get from checkpoint 1 to checkpoint 2 if you want to make a fast push. And of course, there's not as much cover. Overall, the right side is, and we see them opting to go for the left side here after the reset.
They learned from their first little mistake there, and we do see them starting to get a really nice push off. The crab tank kind of spiraled into them getting control of the checkpoint and being able to land it, and right now, Kyrelli is a little bit staggered. They're not all together respawn, since they're just kind of going down as they're pushing further up, and we might see a lead swap here coming from Crystal Coral, and they get to 22. Oh, the
that is a wall.
That is a wall. Oh, that was amazing. Completely denied. That was fun to watch.
Nintendo, just widen it by a centimeter.
And that looks like it's going to be the push over for Crystal Coral as it is.
40 seconds left, however, and a 12-point lead, it's not much, but it's a lead this late into the game. And we could definitely see a really good pick by the Tetra there, of course, dying. But like Tetris do, but this could definitely be.
It's gonna be hard for them to push back into mid. All 4 members of Crystal Coral are up. They have a few specials ready, and that E leader is positioned in mid, where it's gonna be very hard for them to get past. We see a crab tank. It's not looking very good. Everyone but the leader, the Rainmaker, goes down. It's gonna take a miracle they get a double kill. But their timer is gonna run out before they get any chance to push. Yeah. And
not enough time.
Unfortunately.
And that is Crystal getting the 3rd map in a row. They looked dominant. Well, Kyrality looked pretty dominant for the good first 2 minutes of that match. And it really, once Crystal got a hold of it, Crystal is really good at just saying, hi, we have the lead now. Yeah. We win.
And it's like the first game, too. It's Kyrality had a pretty strong, or not a pretty strong lead, but they had a good lead for the first few minutes, and then it just all came crumbling down on them later on in the match. They're really going to have to step up their defense, mostly the defense, if they're gonna have a chance at taking this set back. There's that double kill. I love the Rainmaker. It's such a fun weapon to use.
It's such a fun weapon.
Stuff like that.
We can't have it as our main all the time.
I think that'd be a little bit broken.
Might be a little broken.
Just like Splasher.
But, when has a little broken ever stopped Nintendo?
That's fair. Next game, the ever classic map mode of Splat Zone's Mako. This was my second favorite in 2.
sad my first favorite isn't in the game, but it is. I mean, it's up there on everyone's list. Everyone's like, yeah.
Nobody hates
good.
Flat Zone's Mega Mart.
Nobody hates
I mean, I'm sure you
Mako
can
Mart.
find somebody, but like the general consensus is this is a very balanced map mode where a lot of weapons and a lot of different comps can work, and it's also you're not going to see a knockout in the first 30 seconds like you could on some other maps.
Yes, definitely. And I'm probably just gonna see same comps coming out, to be honest.
Yeah, they haven't been ranging too widely. A few weapons swapped out here and there, but
Chirality could use a swap, but you know, we haven't seen a machine from either of these teams.
Yeah,
And we all know zones. The Booyah Bomb is pretty good on zones. It's a really good displacement tool to get those painters off the zone and allow your team to push in.
Your bomb is just such a versatile special because you can use it defensively if you're about to die as taking the armor. It can be used offensively as kind of a shield to displace people so you can move in more. Once again, defensively again, because if people are moving in and you can block their route, it's just so versatile, and that's what makes it not quite dominate like how Crab Tank is, but it's definitely up there in terms of power.
I mean, it's definitely Splash and Machine are on a tier of their own, and they're definitely hard carried. Well, not really as hard carried, because Splash is pretty good main weapon, but they are definitely carried by their special, right?
Yeah.
Crab Tank is amazing, and there's a reason we see Crab Tank weapons, you know, ranging from either, you know, you get a Splash, you might get a Forge Pro.
You occasionally
I'm
you occasionally get a vanilla dualies sometimes,
You
which is always
get
fun
a
to see.
vanilla dualies. You'll get Crab Tank weapons, and on the side of Machine, you'll get a Machine or you'll get a Forge Pro for Booyah.
Something I've always found hilarious is that even though Crab Tank is incredibly strong, Vanilla Pro is still so not great. We do see a tiny little comp swap up from Chirality, swapping out, I believe it was their
52.
Yeah, the 52 for a T-Tech.
For the Wasabi, sorry.
Yeah.
Can't get me otherwise.
And we've seen this comp, the tried and true comp from Crystal Coral. They've won 2 games, and they might make it a third.
The Octobrush, you know, I believe that is the first splat of the
my
match.
God.
Also getting a second there.
Yeah, that's a double from them. You know, they're such a wild card. They're just amazing at getting in. And with that Zipcaster, they're going to be able to get in even further for basically free. And
definitely, like, it's a special I want to see more of in the game. I think the only weapon we actually see use the Zipcaster in these team comps is the Octobrush.
Ooh, that's a nice double from those Tetris.
That is a actually good Reef Slider. This is a first.
This Tetris is going off. They're just going to go in.
Not get punished.
They're going to do what Tetris do best and just annoy the enemy and get a few picks while they're at it.
And they're already respawned, but no, just kidding. But and so that is the perfect play by a Tetris. Really just annoying and pushing in, taking a lot of map control.
We're seeing the
Kinda
same
like
thing here in the other matches where Chirality was dominating at the start, but now they're having a really hard time getting themselves back in. But they do take the zone.
And Chirality's got a big part here in the fact that they have less Punisher, right?
They do have 3 down on the side of Crystal Coral, so if they're able to push in, nice, they could take this back.
And you see there's a Reef Slider punish. We'll never say it enough, but the now that that very short Punisher is gone, Chirality will take the lead here.
Oh yeah.
Very unlikely.
There's still 2 down on the side of Crystal Coral. And even then, if Crystal Coral does take it back, they do have a very fat penalty to chew through. So it's looking very good for Chirality here.
It's only 10 seconds.
2 more down.
10 seconds, and that's a stall and a flip right there. Pretty big penalty on the side.
Oh my gosh, this Tetris, we see a Reef Slider double. Reef Slider for the win. and it's only T-Tech up, and they're gonna be basically wiped, and the Tetris are just gonna go in again. This is something that Chirality has been struggling to do, is when they have these advantages, they just haven't been going in quite as far as they should have, and this Tetris shows no sign of hesitancy. They're just going in and doing what, like I said, Tetris do best.
That was a Reef Slider jump camp.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And they also got a non-jump, which was impressive.
Which was really, I mean, that's 2 great Reef Sliders this match, but Zone got stalled there. You never know. Oh, it looks like Chirality
it's a scrap.
has mid here.
It's anyone's game. The control over mid is just not there, but 2 do go down on the side of Crystal Coral, and they do get that lead, or the zone back. It was looking scary for them. That fat lead, or the fat penalty that I had mentioned that Crystal Coral had to chew through had been chewed through. It was all gone, and the timer was starting to tick down. But it's back, and they bought themselves just a little bit more time.
Yeah, so that Punisher was great for Chirality, but Crystal Coral has the zone now, and we're seeing the Wave Breaker. That is probably the best spot ever for a Wave Breaker I've seen on a map.
They are starting to pincer and
ramp.
Timer's ticking down. It's not much time left for Chirality, but they do have a few specials out. We'll see if they can flip it in time. It's contested right now. This is a very tight match, very fun to watch.
3 down on the side of Coral. That is going to be a zone flip with 45 seconds left.
This game is going to go down to the wire.
I believe.
And so it's 4-4. Crystal Coral is currently on the defense, just trying to get back in. They do have that crab tank charge. We do see it go out, just try to get a little bit of control back. The range blaster goes down and for trying to pick a fight with a crab. Not usually a good decision, unfortunately. And they're all Crystal Coral. They're coming back in. They managed to flip the zone, and there's 15 seconds left for Chirality to try to flip it before the match ends. And 2 do go down. It is currently Chirality's field, and but there is still scrapping in mid.
And I'm pretty sure that is it. That is Chirality finally getting their first map on Mako Zones. We saw some really good things coming out from both teams.
That was a very close match. Very, very fun to see.
Really good Tetra play.
Oh yeah, great plays from the Tetras. Great plays from the Octobrush. Some really good offense.
Player, take notes.
Yeah, you love to see it.
And now we go to, it's the best new Splatoon 3 map.
See, I disagree. I'm a Flounder Heights enjoyer.
That's not a new Splatoon 3 map.
That's a great point. I never played Splatoon 1, so it's a new map to me.
I didn't play Splatoon 1 either.
And we're seeing some of the highlights from that match, just how close it was. It was always down to the wire. There were always those scraps in mid where they were just painting over the zone, trying to see who could get it. What a great match.
What a great match. And we're seeing that Chirality takes theirs in a really contested match. It wasn't a knockout. It wasn't constantly showing domination throughout that. It was back and forth. And in my opinion, Splat Zones can be one of the hardest to knock out on, especially if both teams, have good special usage and know push together as a team. We're going into Clam Blitz next. You never know. The other day, I lost a series to 4 Super Clams at once.
Yeah, no, it's Clamblitz is the wild card of modes, because you either get a match where a point isn't scored until overtime, or you get a match where it's knocked out and they get those massive, very satisfying 60, 70 point pushes, and you just see it one team dominate. It's always
Rainwater. The map is very small, and also CZ is probably the best map for Brinewater, with a really nice flank route that you can go from Sneaky, and instead of having just a tree there, you have that nice wire that goes to the rail that goes to pretty much back ramp. of the enemy team. Overall, I mean, you get a good push. You can keep control of ramp, and even if you need to fall back to mid, it's pretty easy to keep pressure on this map.
This is a small map, but it's also very open, which means that longer range weapons are going to be pretty powerful here. I predict that we'll definitely see that E-leader again, like we saw in the first match. We might see it again. We might see it again from Chirality, but I wouldn't bet on it. But we'll see as we start in.
I see a lot of E-leaders on this map. I see a lot of chargers.
And I eat my words a little bit as I do bring out the E-leader scope. Both teams bring out the E-leader scope. Same comps, just swapping out the C Junior for a different kit. On the side of Crystal Coral.
As we're only one last ditch. Remember one last ditch effort? Like everyone was running it.
Yeah. We already see one person down on the side of Crystal Coral, which isn't always. Yeah.
It's a Tetras.
That's fair. They always,
probably just took rail and got rail camped.
That's how they roll.
Overall,
they go down again.
We see the splatter shot go down.
Ooh, that crab got instantly denied. The E-leader goes down, leaving them anchorless. It's only the 52 who is, I believe, just was not just respawning. But if they can get some clams together, this is looking like it's going to be a very strong push on the side of Crystal Coral.
Crystal Coral starts off very strong, as they have every match. Except for the second one. And it's if they can keep it up. Now, 41 points gained here and more to score.
Yeah.
Nice even 50.
Mm-hmm. That leader is in such a dominant position. It's a bit hard to rush on them. We do see them displaced a little bit, but like they had sightlines on the entire ramp. That points are down to 30. This was an incredibly strong first push, but I do believe it is now over.
The V Junior kited the entirety of Chirality there for way longer than I thought.
Love the battle of Junior.
Possible by V Junior.
Yeah. So Crystal Coral does go 2 down. Chirality is building up their specials. They are at the advantage right now, but it's a very, very hard lead to get right here.
Let me see. Chirality now has control over mid, and we see the rail.
We're gonna see a crab popped out right here. This is the spot that the E-leader is in. It's a very strong spot. You have sight over mid, you have sight over the ramp, and if you're a crab here, it's even stronger because you can launch over that low box. But we do see their team go down, and so unfortunately they're going to be forced to back out a little bit.
Really good retreat. We see, I believe that's, I thought that was whale. Could have been just a spectator bug. You never know with Nintendo. But we're seeing both teams are just scrapping over mid right now. No real progress. Chirality is the only team with a power clam. That doesn't really matter.
Crystal Coral has a lot of clams on their side. They can make one at a moment's notice. We see the pity clam get accidentally picked up, which is always unfortunate. And a defensive crab popped out here.
And it immediately gets splat too.
Oh yeah.
It accidentally picked it up and immediately got splat. But we do see some really good picks coming out from the splash.
And this could potentially, oh well, they're 2 down now, but it could have potentially been their chance to get back into mid. They have just had a hard time getting back into mid here, just regaining that advantage that they did have. And the Tetras are gonna get, not letting them have a moment's rest, just getting some picks and really annoying them like a little mosquito, and they're wiped. It looks like they might get another push here. They'd have the clams for it, if they can just get them in the right person's hands. And we might, it's gonna be rough.
It is going to be rough. And we see a reef slider being used. It got a pick. It got the gal.
Of course it did. Classic. And once again, that same spot, the crab there is just insane. There's nothing you can do against it.
Crab's used by both sides, and to be honest, I'm pretty sure Chirality's got more value.
Yeah, and we see the knockout. That was a second. Their penalty was 30 points, and they had 30 points left to knock out. They made 2 60-point pushes in that game. That is incredibly impressive. definitely props to Crystal Coral for pulling that out.
And I mean, oh, tapped out there. We're going to Flounder Heights, which is your favorite new map.
I enjoy it. I will say I'm not a big fan of it on tower control though. It just feels incredibly snowbally, and I feel like we're gonna see the same problem where Chirality might get a nice first push, but once Crystal Coral gets in there and Chirality is gonna be having a fight, an uphill battle, and they're gonna have to be fighting with that insane special charge, passive special charge rate that tower control is known for. It's gonna be really rough, and I mean, they could definitely pull something out. I believe in them, but it's not gonna be free.
So I have here in my notes written down that Crystal Coral exclusively will pretty much they don't like playing the sniper on Flounder because of course it's
oh yeah,
Flounder.
It's Flounder.
We could see either a no backlines come out. We could see a Hydra. Who knows?
Oh, I would love to see a Hydra.
Zimmy. I'd love to see the Zimmy.
Zimmy as well. I know that Crab Tank actually isn't it's still amazing, obviously, but it isn't as favored as it is on other maps. From what I've heard, and so we might actually see.
Like Bubble's got some value.
Yeah, no, we might actually see one of them.
Especially on tower.
Yeah. We might see one of them not go with the grab. I wouldn't bet on it, like I've said before, but
probably gonna go with the splash.
Oh yeah.
Don't go with the splash.
You're never not gonna.
You never know.
But...
or we might see, we might see 2 splash, 2 machine. Who knows?
it's always. It's a wild card, but if there are any things that are certain, it's life, death, and crab tanks.
You know what? Just pour undercover. Let's do it.
That'd be impressive. I would root for them. We do actually, we still see the crab tank and on both sides. Oh, actually, often you go double crab and anchorless as well. You were correct in that they might forego the E-leader.
Both sides going pretty anchorless.
Yeah.
Of course, if you have crab
really
tank,
fast comps,
which means you have an anchor. Oh no.
You have an anchor and a can. 2 go down on the side of Crystal Coral. 3 go down on the side of Crystal Coral, as it is just the splash left on the field. Chirality is going to get this first push up, and they're using that crab tank to try to extend their hold. It might have been popped a little bit early, but we do see 2 go down again. It's just the machine. The machine has the booyah, which means they can hold out a little bit, but...
And there it is. There's that booyah you were just talking about.
The first checkpoint gets cleared, which is huge. Any checkpoints in a tower control match are always...
It's actually Flounder. It's not like, oh, what map am I thinking of? I'll just go with Museum, where the first checkpoints are 2 points away from the middle.
Yeah.
These are actually, you get past the grate and you get past the splat zones.
Yeah.
To get to the first checkpoint. Well, you get into the splat.
Here's Crystal Coral making their comeback, using the crab on the checkpoint, just making sure they can't do anything. The rear slider gets canceled by a bomb. That is unfortunate.
That is, I mean...
But they made it to the second checkpoint. They do have 2 down, but they might still be able to eke something out of this. 2 down on both sides.
Points. They're eking out a couple points on the checkpoint, especially with that machine. But
when we see a jump in, the Tetris is still out there, meaning they are going to be able to push it a little bit further. The Tetris is just going to be trying to stall, and they're getting picks, which is the crazy part. But right now it's going to be probably returning
That's
to
what
neutral.
I was thinking of. Somebody in chat just said it, undertow.
Oh yeah, undertow. It takes a sneeze and a light breeze to get that checkpoint.
And speaking, 2 go down on the side of Coral with the only trade for the Wasabi, so this is... I mean, it's looking pretty good on the side of Chirality, especially with the crab tank being used.
Oh yeah. They're going to use it to hold it out. The Booyah Bomb is going to slightly displace them, but they are still at a really strong point to get this checkpoint. And
they take the
here it
lead and
is.
the checkpoint. Now they're going down the ramp.
Oh yeah, and it's like for Crystal Coral, it is an uphill battle here. It's kind of hard to get back in here when you're fighting uphill and your only flank option is going all the way around. And they're here at this final checkpoint, not in a great position to take it right now, as all 4 members of Crystal Coral are up and that crab tank is there, but they have made it there. But unfortunately, they basically get wiped here.
And we're gonna see Tower go back to 50. The Crystal is going to push this. And they have crab. So,
Yep.
I mean, triple ink strike is
brush
on
goes
the
down.
board. Triple ink strike is on the board. No, it's not on the board anymore.
I don't know, the 2 crabs at the ready, which is 1 crab at the ready, now that the other one got canceled, but
I
do manage to get the
notice
checkpoint.
that they're running double splash
Oh yeah, I thought
and a machine.
and this is a really another really close game here that anyone could be the victor of, just with how snowbally this map mode is.
And
But
Chirality has Tower again, which means more time that Coral cannot push.
yeah,
Mainly important here. Even if they don't take the lead, just, making sure they have to bring it back to mid,
Yeah.
setting the next fight at a good place for them is going to be very important here. The machine is down on the side of Coral.
they're starting to get picks. They're yeah. Oh wow, it's just the machine who was just wiped, so they're just respawning. That's essentially a wipe. They're gonna get back that 3rd checkpoint again, I would imagine. And with that, the Zipcaster going out and skirmishing, well, not anymore, but they were skirmishing pretty hard. It's gonna be hard for them to split their resources and get away, like stop them. It's just so overwhelming. They're 2 down. Chirality still has 3 members on the board. They are backing up a little bit, probably trying to preserve their life and preserve their special for the overtime that is surely coming. But yeah, this is anyone's game at this point. Theoretically, it's 16 points. 16 points is not a tight lead.
Suction bomb on Tower.
Yep. Oh, they're just gonna be throwing bombs.
Moment. Anyways, we're gonna see it's
Oh, yeah.
flipping around half here, and there we go.
Chirality take the second
their
game?
second map on Flounder Tower. I just realized that rhymed.
We love to see it. We love to see these sets getting really close. It means the competition's fierce, and it means more exciting. I know, like, I think they could take it, theoretically. It'd be, it's an uphill battle, but
Goes to 7.
they can take it's not quite a reverse sweep, but it's close enough. It's still, match point. Yeah, that was a good map. We did see Chirality, they were able to push in further and take advantage of the space that they were able to create a bit more in this game, which they hadn't been in the last couple.
Yes, and that was important. Chirality is, again, as you mentioned, they've not been pushing up a lot, and they did this time. Of course, they don't have a Tetra to do that for them, but they did better, and we're gonna see Sturgeon Shipyard for the first time today. And I'm hoping we get to see Hagglefish.
I love Hagglefish Zones. It's a fantastic game mode.
Zones.
A Rainmaker Sturgeon is always interesting because there's always the whole thing with going left, and it's a bit difficult now. Like, it's weirder now in 3 because the bridge doesn't go down until you get that checkpoint.
Yes. That's pretty.
It's always interesting. The bridges. It's one of the 2 stages that have like the kind of gimmick where the stage changes as you go on, but unlike Wahoo, it adds more options to the shaking away, which makes Sturgeon really interesting to me.
Well, you also forgot about the best map in the game, Mahi Mahi. I'm joking when I say that.
Okay, well, we see charges come out from both sides here.
Of course, and we don't see 2 splashes on a team, thankfully. But we're going to see. I'm wondering, did he just get splashed by the Rainmaker pump?
I'm not exactly sure. We do see the E-Leader go down with that fantastic push by the T-Tech. T-Tech's still out for blood. They're still going to be trying to get more picks. Even though they are the last alive, they do end up backing out.
And that is, I mean, Chirality finally has been pushed back. I'm sorry, this T-Tech.
This T-Tech is just living. He's on a rampage.
This T-Tech, this Wasabi is very spicy right now.
This is a very chaotic mode so far. They are
and he got shut down by the Rainmaker. It's unfortunate, but he put on a good show. And
2 down on the side of Chirality. It looks like they are going left, but they do get stopped by that Octarush. Octarush has Zipcaster at the ready, which we could see at any moment here. Unless they get a trade, obviously.
At any moment. But he got a kill onto the splash, which is great. The Octobrush for that, less special into the splash there is, you know, if we're talking about specials, I think Crab is more important than Zip in this meta. You know, just a little bit more.
That CJ Jr. there was the only one left alive for a minute, but they were left alive, giving jumps back in and allowing Crystal Coral to make this first push. And it looks like they might get checkpoint here. And there it is.
They will get checkpoint. And now we see that bridge is going down. And the E-Leader looks like there's a guy swimming. I thought he was going to go for a good flank there.
They are backing out as they are 2 down, but that spot up there on that snipe is a very strong spot for an E-Leader to be.
And reset Rainmaker, which is, you know, normally that'd be good for the defending team. Chirality here. But Crystal Coral already has control of mid.
Yeah.
It's just a minor inconvenience but the picks do go the way of Chirality, and I could be biting my tongues here. This could be great for Chirality, have that Rainmaker reset, as they could get the push.
Tetra's going in again, just trying to, you know...
Tetra doing Tetra things.
Tetra doing Tetra things. We see a bomb pick go out there.
I thought he... Wow.
And they're finally going to pick up the Rainmaker again. They get 2 picks with the Ink Strike. Fantastic. And it's just basically the Tetras left on the field. They do get the picks, though, that they need.
I mean, it is this
only
Tetra
the Rainmaker, but they're just going to run for it. What else is there left to do?
Pretty good points. Good points.
When all your team is dead, that's all that's left for is to do, so... We see them starting to get set up in Chirality's their court again, though. It's gonna be hard for them to get back out. But they do have the picks right now for it, and they do have a few specials. No longer have the picks, with it only being the Charger left alive.
Everyone is dying. And we're gonna see Rainmaker is pushing up on the side of Coral. This, I mean...
It's just a splash on the Rainmaker,
they've already got a checkpoint. They could... Oh,
there you go.
E-Leader snipe.
It's just a splash, and the splash, instead of backing out, this splash is just going for it.
He did give a jump.
Jumps in. It's only the CJ left alive now.
Didn't get any help, which probably actually helped Chirality more.
Yeah.
Longer stagger there, but...
Yeah, it did slow them down. It's going to take them longer to get out now that they had to fight the splash that was just in their spawn. It's only a minute left in the match, and Chirality still has not broken the first checkpoint, which does not look good for them.
Chirality does not have control of mid.
Yeah, no, they don't have control of mid.
The leader is in mid, you have control of mid. And, well, as soon as I say that, Chirality gains control of a good bit of mid.
No, they go 2 down. Their Charger was down.
Crab came out. All hail Crab Tank.
So, you know, the Tetra's going in. This Tetra does not hesitate.
How did he not die there?
That's something that, Crystal Coral really has excelled in, is just, just going in, trying to get picks, and just making something happen. They're not scared. If they go down, they go down. And if they're just stalling, they do get
I was going to say Crystal Coral is just going to, hold the Rainmaker, but dies last second.
It's going to be interesting over time. They do have the chance to take it back with the pop, but they have very little time to pick it up. They pick it up, but they don't have the control right now. They're just going to be desperately trying to get that control. They're 4 for 4, 2 down on the side of Crystal Coral here.
This is
They're-
getting interesting. This
is getting interesting.
Very spicy.
Vacuum comes out. They're trying to defend from the Tetras, but the Tetras
is
are
going
on
for
the
him,
end.
and they
They
get
go
him.
down.
The Tetra was spectacular. As we've seen throughout these matches, you know, when the Tetra just they're going insane.
Yeah,
They're popping off. And it's been really helpful for Coral because they know what to do with that.
Mhm.
They're not spinning back and just letting the little kid wander off in the wrong part of the store. They're actively pushing up and taking that space. It just and Chirality just has not been able to respond to that.
Yeah, and yeah, that was the biggest thing, is that Crystal Coral, they knew how to make space, and they knew how to, when they had that space, just take advantage of it and push up as far as they could. We saw it's very ballsy, and I don't know if it would work at a higher level necessarily, but the splash just went in there, even though they were all alone, and just tried to delay them further and further. And unfortunately, that is Game 5.
That is Game 5. No Hagglefish.
No Hagglefish, unfortunately.
So sad.
But this was a great set. Even though it was 2-5, it was the only game that Crystal Coral really dominated in was their knockout game and Game 2 with Museum Tower Control. Other than that, it has been back and forth, and there have been chances for Chirality to make it. Overall,
we still
great
have
set.
one more set for you. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a triple header, and this is not a replay file. No. This is going to be a Div 7 match. Yeah, we're moving up. And it's going to be Black Squid Ink Burger, which kind of makes me hungry and not at the same time, versus Cephalo Squad, which I'm surprised I pronounced that right. And so, Weef, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter or Twitch at Weefslider, like Reef Slider, how we saw from that Tetris, but with a W instead. And where can we find you?
Well, you can find me in the same places, but unfortunately, I got a couple little different names. So you can find me over at Twitter at Anson4, or you can find me on Twitter I don't do anything, or you can find me over at Twitch at Sir_Bacon Gaming, where you can find me doing nothing. So if you're a fan of Seinfeld and you would like to see nothing, you can find me.
Well, that's going to be it from us.
That's going to be it from us and Falco.
All right, Antonin, we thank you both very much. We appreciate it. A good win by Crystal Coral. None of those matches were just single-handedly dominated by either team. We saw a lot of back and forth. Very exciting. But like you both said, we have one more set coming for you tonight. Black Squid Ink Burger versus Cephala Squad. That game is going to be starting at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time. So we are going to take a little bit of a break, but we will be right back. You're watching LUTI Tonight on Splatoon Tourney. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to LUTI Tonight. We are getting ready for our third and final set of the evening, Black Squid Ink Burger versus Cephala Squad. Both of these teams are 3-0. I believe each got a win from a forfeit, so maybe authentically 2-0. We have Saf and Pinky here to call the game. Both of you guys take it away.
Woohoo! LUTI Tonight. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday night here on LUTI Tonight. Pinky, how we doing?
I'm doing fantastically. How are you doing, Seth?
I'm doing good. Just excited to watch some games, and oh my goodness gracious, we're opening on Scorch Gorge Clam Blitz. Yeah, baby, this is a fun one.
This is certainly an interesting one. Clam Blitz tends to be one of the more preferred modes on Scorch Gorge, being one of the new maps in this game. Saf, what do you think about this map mode?
I have a fun time being a backline player, especially wearing a ton of super jump, ready to take that pity right into the basket when applicable and appropriate. I appreciate this map very much. I really do like the size of it. I like how big it is. I like that there's multiple flanking points. I like that there's multiple points to where you can get in and break the basket on this one. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that I can imagine, but this map can be kind of volatile because once you do get control of the enemy ramp, you can just get a lot of points really quickly. So, I mean, this is a very interesting way, I feel, to open the set. It's definitely a tone setter to see which team can push better and which team can hold an area better. And this could be an omen for the set to come. So, we'll definitely have to wait and see.
Yeah, it definitely can come down to trying to hold certain points, where people will try to break into the basket, and especially moving together to try to break into that basket, and displacing a backline player that may be there, or even displacing the midline to try to make a good push, a good solid push to try to get in some clams. So, yeah, I'm jazzed. Can you tell I'm jazzed? I'm jazzed.
I can tell you're jazzed just a little bit. We're ready for a grand old time here. The mic.
And one other thing too that I think is so much fun about this map is trying to control mid on this one. It's difficult to get into mid, and especially if you have so a heavy paint team, it's so hard to take that middle point and to try to get as many clams as possible, just because it's so open. It's such an open area, and there's a lot of ink to be had and a lot of turf to be taken in order to have a successful push and have a successful takeover of mid in order to kind of get that push going. So
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of play around this big central tower. Some modes the tower isn't as tall as in others, but Clam Blitz, we get that boy right all the way up, and it shows it's a great place for people to play around. Maybe just stick a crab on top of there, just deny a ton of area. There's really just a lot of options you can use on Scorch Gorge.
There's a lot of options. A lot of
things to do, a lot of places to go. Of course, you do kind of have to drop in, which is seen as one of the failings of the map, but it definitely will test how teams are going to not only enter into the mid area effectively, but how they're going to deny the other team from entering from that sort of drop area.
Mm-hmm. And like you said earlier, being able to place a crab at the right place to kind of discourage any sort of push or people coming down from the drop area, or to discourage other folks maybe coming in on the flank. Being able to have that crab at a high center point to kind of see where everybody's going, where everybody is, it can be very crucial. But I mean, also knowing how to combat that crab that may be in that high point and taking that high point, what can I do to maybe displace this person and try to get them off of there as well. So it's anybody's game. It's anybody's game.
Yeah, exactly. Especially considering this meta is kind of like a weird cluster of rock paper scissors of okay, but machine beats crab, but crab beats the machine booyah, but the tri-strike beats the booyah, but the machine can AoE over the 10 attack. It's a weird sort of rock paper scissors thing that I think lends to a lot of counterpick strategies. So I'm definitely curious to see not only how we go into this, but how the rest of the set plays out. But with that being said, here we go on Clam Blitz Scorch Gorge for game one. We see the V-Rapid Forge Pro build on the side of Black Squid Ink Burger, as opposed to the double slosher comp on Cephala Squad. Saf, what do you think of this?
I'm really interested in all of the last-ditch effort that we have going on the side of Cephalus Squad, and especially having a double slosher comp. Very interesting choice. So, and especially, like, not a lot of inking, or a lot of inking coming from the Explasher, but not a lot of, like, ink saving to be happening. And we have 3 down already on the side of Cephalus Squad, and the wipeout happening in the first 30 seconds of the game. And you have tons of clams going in there. Clam economy just being thrown in front of that basket with the basket breaking open. And we're seeing that timer tick down really quick. Black Swing Eggburger doing a really good job of keeping clam economy up and still gaining clams as well with 8 clams on the board. Currently with Booyah coming out, and we have Ink Strike coming out trying to hold back Cephalus Squad.
Yeah, you have to admire the sort of, just sort of the inner bond of the teammates to all know to just immediately throw all the clams onto the platform. But that's 3 down to the side of Cephalus Squad, and Black Swinging Burger has this down to 35, and they have more clams at the ready. All the way down to 20 points. The Force Pro going to come and get a few more, bring it further down to 11, and Black Swinging Burger just keeps on finding a way to force themselves in and get just a few more clams in. We see the Junior just get another clam and gets it all the way down to 8 points, and it looks like that will be the end of the opening push. But an opening push that almost ends the game outright in the first minute and a half, you can't ask for much more if you're Black Swinging Burger.
Absolutely. You can definitely tell Cephalus Squad is getting a little bit stressed here, but doing a good job of making sure to end that push when they can and getting a pick right off the bat from the Explasher. And it looks like there's a lot of purple ink going on in mid, so Cephalus Squad was able to rebound pretty quickly and able to get some more ink in there. And we have a Booyah coming out on the play. Not enough clams though to make a ball quite yet, but the clam economy is there, so we're waiting for Cephalus Squad to try to get some clams in there. And there we go. We see the power clam coming through, getting a couple fizzy bombs in there, and getting taken down right in front of the basket. Black Squid Inkburger able to kind of rebound really quickly also on the defense, popping that power clam that Cephalus Squad was able to form, and we have 8 clams on the side of Black Squid Inkburger, and we have 13 clams now on the side of Cephalus Squad, trying to look and see if we can make another power clam.
Beautiful defense on the side of Black Swinging Burger, just stuffing the machine with the ball before they could quite get to the basket, and now forcing Cephalus Squad to retreat, and now we're in a bit more of a neutral state. We do see Cephalus Squad pop their crab, which I should point out is the only crab in this lobby, but it's going to be at the bottom left side of the map. It's not going to get a ton of impact. Looking at the man advantage, the roller is just coming from spawn. Ooh, people are now going down left and right. It's a 3 versus 2 in the favor of Black Swinging Burger. We see once again the Cephalus Squad has a ball, but it's on the Explasher, and the Explasher tends to play pretty far back, and it's now being contested by the roller taking the flank. And I think this is just going to show how difficult it's going to be for Cephalus Squad to get this ball all the way to the other side of the map off the ramp. Although picking off the rapid is certainly a start, and we'll have to see how they can sort of leverage their advantages to make the long trek all the way to the basket.
And it looks like we're well on our way with the Explasher taking out 1 pick and almost get not quite a trade, but still going down after getting that 1 pick. And we have 3 down on the side of Cephalus Squad. You can tell that they were trying to make a push there and make a play there, and you have to wonder what's going on in that voice chat. What's going on in that voice chat to where we almost were able to get that push going, having a lot of ink coverage going in mid, but not quite making it there.
And Black Swinging Burger is just content to stuff out approach after approach, break ball after ball. They're sitting pretty. They got it all the way down to 8 points right out the gun. Cephalus Squad is the one that has to, make it all the way over there and get it all the way down to 7 themselves. And Black Swinging Burger is just saying, you have to get through all 4 of us first. We are not going to give up any ground. We're not going to push any further. We're just gonna make you guys come to us and make all the mistakes. And, it's been working out for them so far, but we're entering the last minute of the match. We have to see if Cephalus Squad can really make something happen. They only have 16 clams, and they will need a lot more if they want to get this lead. The machine is pushing in, dies to the ink mine before they can get the Booyah Bomb armor, though. Tri-Strike is going to get the ball holder as well, and that's a wipeout inside of Black Swinging Burger. Cephalus Squad is all going down with 30 seconds to go, and that ball is going to be gone for the last 30 seconds of the match.
And it looks like Cephalus Squad kind of scrambling to get back in onto the map here, trying to get some more ink kind of going on the map. And like you said, Black Squid Inkburger is sitting pretty here with 8 points on the board. they were able to get that such a big push early on with 3 members of Cephala Squad going down now. Black Squid Ink Burger doing a really good job of playing defense and making sure to find the right picks at the right time in order to prevent any sort of pushing going on. But you can just tell, oh, Cephala Squad still trying to break out of there and trying to get more ink down on the field. There was so much ink happening in mid, and Cephala Squad was doing such a good job of controlling and maintaining mid, and especially the Explosher able to kind of be at a good spot where they could not only paint the tower, but also paint on the sides of the tower and kind of being able to watch back and forth of what's going on, but just not quite getting the aggression that they needed in order to try to push a pop there.
Exactly, and that's the thing about Clamblitz. You can have all the control you want, but at the end of the day, it all has to come together in that one push, and that was what Black Squid Ink Burger was able to do. And here we go, we already see just the opening wipeout on the side of Black Squid Ink Burger. Incredible coordination just to really get this game started. And once again, we see
all of
those clams flying in like angels from the sky. And this was the one push. 30 seconds in, they broke the basket. The basket did not close for another minute, which was just insanely well played by the side of Black Squid Ink Burger, just putting the lead so far out of reach that they really just made Cephala Squad panic and come to them. And that just shows you how important not only opening pushes, but opening team fights in general are. Just getting an immediate wipeout is such a great way to spearhead a strong push.
Yeah, absolutely. And one other thing to note too is getting such a strong push right off the bat. You could also see that Black Squid Ink Burger, like, although they were kind of getting clams in, they were doing it gradually. And sometimes that can work way better to your advantage instead of everybody rushing in and throwing as many clams as possible. Just kind of gradually keeping the basket open, giving your teammates some time, like, oh, some clams spawned over here. I have some time to kind of run over here. And we saw too that Ink Strike coming out right after the Booyah Bomb, just keeping that basket clear of Cephala Squad. Cephala Squad was having some issues trying to get some paint down, but be able to kind of space those specials out properly and space out those clams gave them that really awesome initial push, and they were able to just drag it out right to the 8.
Yeah, but with that being said, that's only game 1, and we're now heading into game 2 on Tower Control Museum d'Alfonsino, one of the returning Splatoon 1 maps, and one of the ones the community seems to be more favorable of compared to some of the other options we have to choose from. And we definitely saw some weapons in the previous game that worked well here. I think Rapid Blaster is great on this map. But we're getting right into it, and we do see the Rapid Blaster, and we see the Vanilla Rose of the Forge, and we're also seeing the heavy Splatling coming out on the side of Cephala Squad.
Yeah, looking like we're changing out that that Explosher backline, and we changed it out into a Splatling backline, which I think on this map can be a lot more helpful. And having that higher DPS for them, I think, would be a lot more helpful in a map like this, and especially when you're trying to get the tower moving. And we have 5 points already with 95 on the side of Cephala Squad. A nice little baby push to start our game. And we have Crab coming out on the side of Black Squid Ink Burger. 1 down on the side of Cephala Squad. Looks like Black Squid Ink Burger's just trying to kind of maintain mid here, waiting for kind of a safe time in order to push the tower. And they've taken the lead now with 2 down on the side of Black Squid Ink Burger with only a 5-point lead. But right away we see another Crab being popped off on the tower on the side of Cephala Squad, now taking the lead again, just kind of back and forth taking the lead here in the first minute of the game. That first checkpoint being broken, though, on our way to the second one.
Yeah, and now with 3 down, Cephala Squad's first push is probably going to end, but you got through that first checkpoint, and on Museum, every checkpoint is so valuable. Of course, the second checkpoint is by far the most valuable, but hey, Rome wasn't built in a day. You know, we got the first checkpoint down, and Black Squid Ink Burger is going to respond by getting that checkpoint themselves and the lead. And they also have specials at their advantage to sort of prolong this push. They have the Crab, which they just popped from the spinner. They have the Bubble, which they also just popped to get this checkpoint. And the machine is still holding that Booyah. And Black Squid Ink Burger's broken that second checkpoint, is now below 30 points. And they're in a great spot to just keep control of this plat and keep their push going. And as soon as I say that, commentators curse, 3 of them go down.
Yeah, it looks like Cephala Squad kind of came out of spawn swinging there and trying to paint their plat as much as possible, kind of making it hard for Black Squid Ink Burger to have some ground and kind of get out of the way, really. They were kind of like, move out of the way, here we come. And there's that Trizuka coming out, getting some ink down on the platform, but we have the Sloshing Machine going down to the Rapid Blaster, and a Wave Breaker coming out with Crab on the tower as well, with 2 people trying to take the checkpoint. Kind of like a good rebuttal going on by Cephalus Squad. They were like, oh yeah, watch this, we can do that too. And they were able to crab and almost get the second checkpoint with 3 seconds left, with Black Squid Inkburger actually taking the tower back.
Yeah, it's close but no cigar. They were not able to get the second checkpoint, and now Cephalus Squad has a lot of pressure on them. Yes, they have a lot of pain over mid, but it's Black Squid Inkburger with not only the point lead, but the checkpoint lead. And checkpoints on Museum, especially that second one, are so crucial to break, just because of how many options the defending team has to sort of get around that checkpoint and just keep control of it. And speaking of keep control, that's what Black Squid Inkburger's been doing with this lead. We see a crab battle between the crab and the rapid. The rapid does end up getting rolled over, and a crab goes down to a sucking bomb. That's a full wipeout from Black Squid Inkburger. Cephalus Squad is now trying to use this advantage to really push forward. They already have the heavy on the tower, the back line, just trying to anchor the team, and now they're really going to try and break the second checkpoint as the crab starts to move forward and really take control and put pressure on the enemy plat.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job of applying pressure with 2 people coming out of spawn going down, but unfortunately, now 3 people going down on the side of Black Squid Inkburger, with Cephalus Squad taking the lead, just barely getting to checkpoint number 3. Booyah taking out the roller that was trying to hold it and try to push it backwards. The Rapid Blaster, you can see, trying to play some defense here, and we see the Splash doing a little dance around the tower. Unfortunately, I think that's going to end Cephalus Squad's push there, but all the way down to the 2. So Black Squid Inkburger's definitely got some ground to make up. We do see that they are at the 28, but we have that tower now moving back towards mid, and they still got to go through the halfway point.
Yeah, and there's only a minute left on this clock, and now Black Squid Inkburger not only has to break the 3rd checkpoint, but almost knock out the tower. And while they're doing that, they have Cephalus Squad who's trying to keep control of that tower, trying to get that special charge that's oh so crucial in tower control. We do see the roller go for a nice flank, picks up the splash, but does get found in sort of a no man's land. And that's a 1-for-1 trade that I feel like Cephalus Squad will gladly take. We do see the Booyah just staring down the crab, but the crab does win. There's a little battle between the shooters, the Splattershot and the Splattershot Pro, but the Pro proves superior. In this instance, there's 20 seconds left on the timer, and now Black Squid Inkburger have control of the tower. This is sort of their last chance to really get that lead back and cement a 2-0 lead in this set.
Yeah, and it looked like there too, when with Black Squid Inkburger taking the tower again, it looks like they were kind of finding their footing, working to find their footing, and now we have them on the tower, but 3 members going down with a wipeout happening on the side of Black Squid Inkburger, just struggling a little bit there to either maintain mid or to get on that tower. Cephalus Squad really came out swinging this second game.
Yeah, and they were able to get the win with a very, very strong push. In the 3rd minute there, just able to get all the way down to 2, and you know, Black Squid Inkburger, despite having a lot of control in the first half of that match, they were just unable to really get it back. Cephalus Squad played some phenomenal defense there, just completely denying Black Squid Inkburger from even entering the middle of the map. And here we see that instant replay of just Black Squid Inkburger just kind of getting stuffed out a little bit. You know, they really tried to push on this tower. They had the Pro going down on the bottom right side trying to deal with the Heavy. The Heavy does go down, but the Pro just gets caught out of position by the Crab, and we see the battle between the Crab and the Roller, and the Crab just rolls him over right at the end, and that kind of just seals the fate of Black Squid Inkburger. But this is still a long set. We're only 1-1. It's the first of 5, so who knows what's going to happen as the set progresses.
And I think too that Roller was really taking a risk trying to 1v1 that Crab, and you could see like on their initial flick when the camera zoomed in, they just barely missed that initial flick, got some tick damage there, but just not quite the KO on the Crab I think that they were looking for. And it is a big risk. The Roller really took a big risk there, and I think Cephalus Squad was able to really maintain this game as soon as they were able to get that first wipeout on Black Squid Inkburger and take the tower all the way down to the 2. That wipeout really was really able to kind of set the rhythm for the rest of the game for them, because you have all of Black Squid Inkburger now on the respawn trying to come out and almost feeding a little bit there as the tower was moving past the second checkpoint. So they were able to really kind of like hold their breath there and make sure that they could move that tower, but also still getting the picks where necessary.
Yeah, exactly. But Black Squid Inkburger is now trying to rebound off of that. You know, these are both teams at a very high caliber. They haven't lost a week yet in this LUTI season, but now 1-1, we're heading into Game 3, which is on Undertow Rainmaker. And Saf, what do you think of this map mode, real quick?
You know, this one I think for me is not my most favorite, and I say that because I don't really like where the checkpoints are located, but I also think it's kind of hard to find a different spot for them to be, just because this is another one of the longer maps that got introduced into this game. So I feel it's difficult to even find a different location. Like, I couldn't tell you where I would want to put another location. But we have Cephalus Squad on their way to that first checkpoint, only with 97 points right now, kind of looking for an opening into that first checkpoint, with Crab coming out trying to almost kind of shoot past them on defense and running into a missile, unfortunately, at the 85 mark.
Yeah, we do see Black Sweating Burger changing up a little bit, and those missiles are coming onto their newly adopted Flings Roller. They also switched to a Blobber, which can really just take advantage of all the geometry on the stage and really just bounce bubbles around and just kind of cause a lot of havoc for a bunch of short-range weapons. We do see Black Sweating Burger sort of panic pick up the Rainmaker, and it seems to be working out for them. Oh, but 3 of them go down as soon as I say that, and that's right in front of the checkpoint, too. So Cephalus Squad can certainly use this to push for the checkpoint if they play this right. But unfortunately, there aren't a lot of teammates around this Rainmaker, and that's why the Rainmaker decides to go all the way to the left side. And this seems to be the route that teams tend to go for more often. It's just a little bit safer, it has a little more cover around it, and it's easier to get your team in that direction. And with all those advantages, Cephalus Squad is able to get the first checkpoint of the game.
Yeah, and also, you could tell that there was some chatting going on in that voice message, because the Rainmaker was really trying to push that right side, but you could see the two teammates over at that other checkpoint. They were kind of like, come here, come this way, this is open, like, we got it clear. And you have to wonder again what's going on in that voice channel, because they immediately changed their trajectory from the initial first checkpoint on the right side to the left side. And absolutely, I agree with you. It's a lot safer bet for sure. But they definitely were trying to see if they could make that push and try to make it work for them.
Yeah, and now the Rainmaker's going to reset. There's a little less than 3 minutes left on this timer, and, you know, Black Sweating Burger just hasn't been responding much to the aggression on Cephalus Squad. We do see the machine sort of pushing up. Oh, it's caught in a battle with the Splash. The Splash is able to win, and the Splash gets through with the Trizuka. Is just the heavy Splat Legging left on the side of Cephalus Squad. This could be the opportunity that Black Sweating Burger needs as they take their Rainmaker towards the left side of the map. We do see the Crab pop out, just try and clear a path for it, but the Crab is unable to find any picks, and the Rainmaker's unable to move forward as the path is being painted over them. 2 go down to the side of Cephalus Squad, though, and that is just going to be enough to get the checkpoint. However, it's not quite enough for the lead. Black Sweating Burger needs to pick it up and push it just a little bit farther. They're almost there, and they get there with the bubble, the big bubble being clutch, and now Black Sweating Burger has the lead at 41 points, and now it's Cephalus Squad that has to respond going into the last 2 minutes of this Game 3.
I gotta tell you, I was sweating there a little bit for Black Sweating Burger, because on the respawn of Cephalus Squad, you could see 3 members immediately responding, going to that side in order to try to stop them. But that bubble coming out really, I think, made that push for them. Their push was ultimately broken, sure, but it really made that push for them in order to just get them a couple more points in order to take the lead. With a pretty decently, this is still anybody's game, though, with a minute and a half left.
Exactly, and that Flings Roller is still behind Cephalus Squad, just trying to make something happen, but now moved over to the other side of the map and does get 2 kills. It's 2 dead on the side of Cephalus Squad. It's just that Rainmaker left alone, and that Rainmaker is going to get the brunt of those missiles after the grave. And now Black Sweating Burger is able to pick up the Rainmaker and just push even farther on this left side of the map. Does get caught up in the splash, but is able to make it into the bubbler and push it down all the way to 30. With a minute left on the clock, Cephalus Squad now has to get it to 29. However, they do have the advantage of fully activated last effort should any of them be running it, but this is still quite a tall task. They have to get the Rainmaker to the entire opposite side of the map, and they can't really afford to let it reset because Black Sweating Burger just has so much control over the middle of the map that I'm not even sure if they can get the pop reliably.
Yeah, and you're definitely right, too, about this blob. I've been seeing this blob kind of flying like bubbles flying all over the place on this map, like definitely applying a lot of pressure on the side of Cephalus Squad, making it really difficult for them to try to like pick a side to go on. The blob, though, going down by the sloshing machine, and Cephalus Squad is also like looking for picks, like kind of getting some paint on the ground, but unfortunately, not picking up the Rainmaker. I feel like in a more timely manner, but I could be eating my words here as we go into overtime with 2 members down on the side of Black Squid Ingburger, and you have the sloshing machine posted up at a good spot, and they take the lead right at the end. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Black Sweating Burger was just caught out of position. There was the Blah Blobber on Snipe, just unable to really affect things. And there was only one member alive. It was the sloshing machine that was just coming out of spawn. Beautiful job of the teammates of Cephalus Squad to really just direct attention away from that Rainmaker and provide a path to just cleanly walk through and take back that lead at 29 points in overtime. Very clutch plays, just barely taking it back at the end. And now Cephalus Squad is the one with the lead in the set, up 2-1 in this best of 9.
Yeah, we're going back down. This is what I was looking for here, and I'm glad that this is the replay that we had. This machine was on their way to take out that blob before they were able to pick up that Rainmaker. They picked it up, and the machine was already there, ready to go. You can see a this way coming out on the field there, right in the distance, and the Rainmaker was able to take a reliable path and a safe path away from the crab, blasting at them with the blob now on the respawn with 2 members down, with the Flingza now on the respawn and the Booyah Bomb coming out. That machine player was ready to go and ready to make that pathway.
Yeah, the machine really was able to cement that push, put on so much pressure in the base of Black Sweating Burger, but that was game 3, and we're now heading to game 4 on Splatzone's Mako Mart, which is kind of seen as a very even map where pretty much anything can be made work. Staph, what do you think about the reputation of this map?
I love this map, Pinky. I love this map. I'm so glad that it is making a reappearance here in Splatoon 3 from Splatoon 2. And I think Splat Zones is one of the more fun maps modes on this map. And you're absolutely right. Like, really anything can go here, and pretty much anything can work here, regardless of the different, like, the stacks and pillows and things blocking stuff. There's still so many weapons that can have such a good advantage here. And so I'm excited to see what these teams are going to bring to the table. Really curious to see if we're going to see that Explosher again. Because I think this would be a good space for it, a good space for it to shine.
Yeah, and I myself play a lot of blasters and rollers, and I think both weapon archetypes excel in this map. So I'm very excited to see if we might see like a carbon roller or maybe a range blaster on either team just really take advantage of the ledges and the walls that are ever present on this map. We do see the vanilla splat roller, and we do see the Explosion Maker return with the double splash. And another thing about this map is that it is great for a lot of things, but it is especially great for crab tank, as those stacks are great spots to just set up a crab. And we immediately see the roller just take control of the stack on the side of Black Sweating Burger, just trying to prevent any flanks. And there's a lot of contestment going on in the zone in mid. Cephalus Squad is able to get the first cap, but there's still a lot of contesting going on. We're going to need some picks before we can definitively say that one team has control.
Yeah, absolutely. Cephalus Squad's doing a good job, though, of applying a lot of pressure here, and I really do think it comes down to that double splash and also having that custom junior on there. There's a lot of ink to be had on the side of Cephalus Squad, which I think can really work to their advantage here. And we see the Blob finding a pick there with the bubbles, with 2 members of Cephalus Squad going down, and now Black Squid Inkburger getting the turnover.
Yeah, they're just able to get the cap of the zone. We do see the Tacticooler come out from the end zap that Black Sweating Burger decided to pull off on this game. Maybe they want to just use it to get more aggressive in this very small map. It's very efficient to be able to move around quickly and just lets you kind of rush the other team, which can be important in a mode like zones, because once you get control of that mid, it can be very devastating if you just don't ever relinquish it. But speaking of never relinquishing control, that's what this crab is here to do. It's putting pressure on the enemy stack. He is able to get the blobber, and that makes it a whole lot easier for the teammates of Cephalus Squad to move in. However, we do see Black Sweating Burger with their own crab getting behind enemy lines, getting 2 kills. And even though Cephalus Squad does get control of the zone, it's now a 2 versus 2 situation in mid. And Black Sweating Burger could really use this to turn the match on its head so far. That's been looking in favor of Cephalus Squad.
Yeah, and we see that Tacticooler again, and unfortunately the roller not really getting to use their G Fuel for very long, and we're getting taken out by the splash. But we still see Cephalus Squad is still holding on pretty tightly, and they're doing a really good job of playing defense and making sure to hold the members of Black Squid Ingburger back. Black Squid Ingburger, you can tell though, is trying to get some aggression. We see their crab coming out on their melon side. Oh, and the Explasher finding a pick. The Explasher finding a surprise pick with 10 seconds left for Cephalus Squad, holding on to this zone, and I think that is going to be game.
Yeah, Cephalus Squad just takes back 3 games straight, and I just want to point out the very clutch defense with the Explasher on the side of Cephalus Squad. That weapon is not very easy to kill with, but the wielder was just very intelligent with how to use it, and gets the mid-air snipe on the shooter that goes after them. Very well played by Cephalus Squad, and they just had control of mid for so long and just never relinquished it that Black Squid Ingburger just never really had an avenue to get back in, and that's kind of been a failing of the last few games, and I don't think Tacticooler was really something to help that. We once again are looking in on this Explosion who's just trying to maintain control of mid, is throwing that nice little rain cloud out. No sunny days in this shopping mart, and we do see the pick, and the Explosion just able to just hold down this zone very well. Very strong defense, very good paint output. And this is what has let Explosion just be so strong in this game and in this meta, especially on Splat Zones maps.
Yeah, and I do think that pick that Explosion got, you got to give some contribution to the rain. That Inkstorm was able to get the final kill there, that final pick. They were able to land one really good initial hit to get some chip damage, and unfortunately the NZAP wasn't able to kind of back up as quickly, I think, as they hoped, and that rain unfortunately was the nail in the coffin and was able to take them out. So a lot of good ink output on the side of Cephalus Squad. They were able to really maintain and play aggressive, but also just maintain a lot of ink, and especially having 3 very high DPS shooting weapons in order to kind of combat that as well. Moving on though into game number 5, we have Brinewater Springs Clam Blitz. This is also one of my favorite Clam Blitz maps that we have in Splatoon 3. I think this is just such a fun one, and I just find this map so enjoyable. I was really hesitant about it at first, but after a few tower games, clam games, I find this map so enjoyable.
That's good to hear, and yeah, this is one of the more controversial maps that was added in this game, but I think especially on Clam Blitz, it can really shine. You know, the flank routes on either side are really powerful, and they can be quite potent, and it can lead to a very fast-paced game, especially on something like Clam Blitz, where it is a bit harder to lock the other team out because it's definitely harder to push all the way up, or it's not as rewarded, but we're gonna have to see. There's a lot of momentum on the side of Cephalus Squad winning 3 games straight, and now the onus is on Black Squid Ingburger to really just take it back from them, and we're seeing them try to do that with the V-Jet Squelcher. Black Squid Ingburger's just been switching around their backplanes this whole set, but they decided to go with the Vanilla Jet Squelcher for this game.
I just leaned into my screen on that one to make sure I was seeing that right. That's a very interesting pick, and especially for the current meta and with comp right now, it's a very, very interesting pick. Definitely a weapon I feel that kind of fell to the wayside moving in from Splatoon 2 to Splatoon 3. Cephalus Squad's doing a really good job of maintaining mid though, and getting a lot of ink down in mid in the first 30 seconds. But we have a Booyah Bomb coming out and taking the crab out before the crab could really get a good setup, with 2 members on Cephalus Squad going down, and Black Squid Ingburger really quick on the respawn with 16 clams in their economy in their back pocket, looking to try to make a push here with the Explosion trying to play some defense.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but when the camera switched to the flings and it showed the 10 missile special, I got a little worried it was back on the Vanilla Jet Squelcher, but wrong game for that, luckily. And the blue team of Black Squid Ingburger is just collecting a ton of clams, and pretty much what they were doing in game 1, where they're really just trying to start a push, but they don't have a ball quite yet. The vacuum being huge on them, the splash one, the 1v1 though, and that is going to be Black Squid Ingburger being the first team to open the basket. And now they have 11 clams to make it all the way to the basket, but they don't have a lot of paint in front of them, so they probably aren't going to get all of them. We do see the Flingsy go for a suicide play, getting the score down to 38, but the Vanilla Jet Squelcher is the only one left, and he's coming from spawn, so I think that's where the push is going to end. But a push to 38 is very solid, especially as, you know, sort of the first push of the game.
Yeah, and you could tell the Black Squid Ingburger was almost replicating what happened in that last clam game, where they were slowly getting clams in there to keep the basket open and kind of just letting the picks come to them, not trying to push too far up in front, and letting the team of Cephala Squad come to them so that was a really good initial push on their part for sure. But we see that Cephala Squad is already quick on the rebound with another ball in possession, kind of waiting for their opening with the roller jumping out, which I think was a good jump out, kind of getting trapped in that corner there. And then they are able to get the break. I could not see if that ball quite made it, but it did. Able to get the break with 80 points. And we see that the shot is trying to kind of bust in there and get some more clams, and we got it down to the 65. The machine was able to sneak in and get it down to 65. Also another good push on the side of Cephala Squad as well. So we have two pretty decent initial pushes, but we still got a little bit of ways to go for Cephala Squad.
Yeah, Cephala Squad was just not quite able to get the lead, but I mean, there's still 2 minutes and 20 seconds left on this timer. We do see the shot pull at the Zuka. Let's see if they can make some clutch Zuka shots happen. Not quite. And in response, Black Sweating Burger just says, oh yeah, here's a crab. Here's some actual long-range pressure. Chew on these balls. And we see those giant cannonballs just flying all the way across the map. We do see Black Sweating Burger picking up the pity clam. Not something you'd see terribly often, but they're just really trying to just supply themselves as best they can as they're trying to get another push in, it seems like, because they know that a push to 38 might not be enough, and Cephala Squad is able to just sneak in there despite not having that many players alive. In fact, it's just the Explosher who's running away with the Power Clam, which, I mean, was a solid play, but Cephala Squad was just not all there to follow up on it, and it only really serves to give Black Spinning Burger another pity clam.
Yeah, and you could kind of see, I don't think Black Squid Ink Burger was expecting that pop to happen, and they kind of got a little displaced there, kind of wondering where was the player that was able to make that pop. I don't know about you, but I blinked and I didn't even see it happen. I just saw their basket open again.
Yeah, there was one there just ready for the jump, but the clam just missed, unfortunately, and now there's only a minute left, and Cephala Squad has to make something happen. You know, they do have the pity clam, but, you know, they just haven't been able to get a substantial push, at least not nearly as substantial as what Black Spinning Burger got. And now we're back in this neutral state. The Crab is able to get a pick, but dies shortly after. And now it's 2 versus 2, and we'll have to see if Black Spinning Burger is really going to use this opportunity to make their move and try to put the lead out of reach, or if they're just going to opt to sit back. But one disadvantage of sitting back with so many power clams is that the user of the power clam is going to be located. So now, Cephala Squad knows where the Jet Sculptor is at all times, and that can help in knowing in what areas it can pressure. But we're at 30 seconds left, and Cephala Squad barely has enough points for a ball, let alone enough clams for the lead. And we're getting down to it. The Jet does go down right at the pop of the vacuum, though. It's going to be a scramble to see if Cephala Squad can get there. The shot has 7 clams, now has a ball, is able to break the basket. It is marked with the missiles, but they have to move out of the way. There's a jump with the ball, though, and they lose the lead right as the overtime begins. There's now 20 seconds left for Black Spinning Burger to make it all the way across the map. However, 3 of the people on Cephala Squad go down. They need a ball, and they need to make it to the other team fast. And one of them is going to have to pick up the pity. It's the Pro, but the Pro might not have enough time. Overtime clock is ticking down oh so quickly. They have to gun it, hope they can make it in time, and they just barely miss. Just barely, not enough time, not enough wind speed, and Cephala Squad is going to take game 5.
Oh my gosh, again, what is happening in that voice channel right now? What is going on in that voice channel right now? Hopefully it's on the replay. I'm begging that it's on the replay, but the player that was able to make that bubble pop, oh, thank goodness.
We were just told that it is in fact in the replay, which we'll be seeing shortly.
Yes, okay. I want to see which player was able to break in there and able to jump, because it wasn't I don't think it was the initial basket popper, but it was a different player coming in trying to throw a clam in, and then the jump was perfectly timed and able to get in there. So here we see Sky break going in right underneath the Booyah Bomb and missiles on them, making that initial pop, trying to get some ink down. Okay, no, so they were able to they were able to pick it up and jump to Sky, and were able to kind of distinguish that it's now or never. This is the jump. This is the jump that needs to be made, and they were able to make it, and just, oh.
And I just want to point out that, I don't know how many of you guys noticed that, but the Zuka shot, that the shot launched, I believe that was also Sky, to get right over the Jet's vacuum right as he popped it to kill them, and that's what really started the push. beautiful plays, and now Cephala Squad is at set point, up 4-1. This is the first of 5, but we might not even get to a game 9. Cephala Squad is just going to say, lights out, let's get 5 straight, and they're going to see if they can end the set here on game 5, which is Tower Control Flounder Heights. And Saf, I don't know if you played Splatoon 1, but as a Splatoon 1 veteran, I'm so happy this stage is back.
I am right there with you. I too am a Splatoon 1 veteran. I do greatly enjoy that this stage came back. However, I'm not a fan that it is. Where is the height? It's in the name, but there's no height. At least not how it was. And so I'm a little sad for that part of it, but I am happy to see this map back because it was such a fan favorite back in the day. And we have quite a comp change up here. We see a Range Blaster coming out, and we also have a Nautilus coming out.
I love Range Blaster. I'm a Range Blaster main, so I'm very excited to see this, but more importantly, I'm just excited to see how the set ends. Once again, if Cephala Squad wins this game, that is going to be game, set, and match, and tower control on this map is kind of interesting just because of how the tower really starts from the top and slowly moves its way down. It can be kind of hard to defend if the attacking team gets far enough in front of it, as it can make it rather hard to reach. You do see the Nautilus trying to make something happen in the trench area as 2 go down to the side of Cephala Squad, and Black Sweating Burger is the first one to really get this push out, getting into the first checkpoint, but the crab that Cephala Squad pops is able to stall it a little bit. The machine tries to do a merry little dance, but it's not quite enough, and Cephala Squad is able to just pry that checkpoint right out of the hands of Black Sweating Burger.
Yeah, and one thing too, like the first checkpoint on this one is always, I feel like, just so difficult to maintain. The first and the third checkpoint, I feel, are the most difficult, with the third obviously being because it's so close to the spawn, but the first one is just, it's so out in the open. There's so many different places that you can try to like hide and points that you can take to try to maintain map control, and also just a lot of high points and like crannies and things that you can hide, and especially like slayers can hide if they want a shark. So that first checkpoint is always just so crucial again. Cephala Squad did a really good job breaking it and almost getting to the second checkpoint, but now we have Black Squid Ink Burger now on the rebound for getting that first checkpoint once again, and we are almost there, but Cephala Squad's doing such a good job of maintaining ink and applying a lot of pressure, so they are unable to get it to that checkpoint.
Yeah, we just see people throwing themselves on the tower. It's a bloodbath. The splash goes 1 for 1 and it trades with the junior, but my goodness, people are just dropping off this tower like flies, as now Black Squid Ink Burger gets their chance to redeem themselves and to break through this checkpoint and really trying to even this game up. But they are able to break through this checkpoint, and they do get the kill on the Range Blaster, so they do have slight man advantage. We'll see if they can convert this into a lead switch. Oh, they're so close. Oh, it's just the Range Blaster coming from spawn. That's going to be a lead switch, and now Black Squid Ink Burger is in a phenomenal place to not only continue this lead, but break the second checkpoint and make their way to the third. And they pop the bubble right as they get there too. So now they have the protection of the bubble field for the first half of the checkpoint timer.
That was a good bubble pop indeed, but you have Ink Strike coming out to try to clear off that tower and get the players of Black Squid Ink Burger off of there, with a Booyah coming out, and a well-timed Booyah at that. To try to clear it with Cephala Squad, with 3 members of Cephala Squad going down with only 5 points, but Cephala Squad is rushing out of spawn to try to push the tower back, but you have the members of Black Squid Ink Burger in, I think, a good position in order to take members out, with the roller getting a pick and looking for that second one, unfortunately not finding it, but still able to take the tower and kind of take some attention away from the tower, with a splash going for 1 pick, going for the second pick, getting 2 picks, and they are able to take the tower with 2 members of Black Squid Ink Burger going down, and that is going to be the end of the push for Black Squid Ink Burger. But Cephala Squad's got a lot of ground to make up with that 4 points.
Yeah, that was a beautiful triple on the side of the splash, but they have to get it all the way down to 3, and you know Cephala Squad wants to end the set here and now if possible, because the longer the set goes on, the more chance Black Squid Ink Burger has the chance to build momentum. So Cephala Squad really wants to be able to win this here and now. We just the roller kind of being caught up in a weird spot, and now it's 3 versus 3 in terms of man advantage. The Range Blaster is the one riding this tower, just trying to keep it safe with the area of effect, but dies to the Splat Bomb. Beautifully placed by the junior, and now it's just a scramble around the second checkpoint area. We do see Cephala Squad able to break it, and now they're making their way to the third, but the junior is able to get the kill on the custom junior, winning the junior battle, and the junior goes down right as I say that to the Range Blaster. It's just a bloodbath. They're really trying to make their way down this ramp for the tower, but Cephala Squad is just not able to do it. 3 of them go down. It's just the Custom Junior by themselves, and the Nautilus is hunting for them as the Junior jumps out. And we have a reset scenario where Cephalo Squad really wants to get this lead, but there's only 50 seconds to do so.
You can tell that the pressure is definitely on right now for Cephalo Squad in order to try to kind of make a comeback here to try to end this set. But Black Squid Ink Burger is not making it easy for them, and especially getting such a good initial push and getting it down to 4 points and 3 points. That's a lot of ground to make up. But we see Black Squid Ink Burger still pushing this tower. They have a great advantage still trying to push this tower, but Cephalo Squad is able to come in. Oh, that was a really nice pick by the roller. Cephalo Squad was able to come in and try to kind of push it back, but we have 3 members down on the side of Cephalo Squad with now 2 members on the respawn and the Junior going down. I think that this game is going to go to Black Squid Ink Burger.
Yeah, they were just able to play off the offense so well.
GG
and they
Booyah!
put a Booyah bomb right down to the tower, the GG Booyah. You thought the GG specials were left in Splatoon 2, but they decided to bring a few more over, and now Black Squid Ink Burger winning their second game of the series, bringing it 4-2. So while Cephalo Squad is still at match point, Black Squid Ink Burger definitely has the chance to turn this around if they win the next 3 games straight, which is certainly a tall task, but far from undoable.
They really were able to come back into this game, and they really took advantage. Advantage there coming into that second checkpoint when they were able to get at least 2 members down on the side of Cephalo Squad, and well-timed specials as well. Really well-timed booyahs, well-timed bubbles. I really got to shout out the bubble going on by the Junior player. Every time that they were able to round that corner or get it close to that corner, you saw a bubble coming out immediately, trying to get into that 3rd checkpoint. They were able to get 2 bubbles off on that really good push. There, and then there was the GG Booyah there on the replay right at the end.
Yeah, Black Squid Ink Burger said prepare for bubble and make it double, and Cephalo Squad was just unable to respond to that. And now we're heading into Game 7 of the series on Sturgeon Shipyard Rainmaker. Saf, how do you feel about this map mode?
I really love this map. Not so much the mode with this one, but I really do like this map, and I say that as someone that used to be a Dynamo player, a washed-up Dynamo player.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. Someone that's a washed-up Dynamo player, and just all of the high points. This map really does favor the non-shooter weapons. It favors the buckets. It favors the rollers. It favors the blasters even. So I do like this map for all my non-shooter folk out there. I think this is a good one for us. This one was made for us.
This one was made for us that really just hated shooters in the meta, and then they introduced it in the shooter meta game. But we don't have to think about the little stuff. We don't have to sweat it, because, you know, now it's in Splatoon 3 with a slightly more diverse meta. It is a shooter and a bucket in the top tier. So, you know, we're diversifying a little bit. We're getting a little better about it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going on in, and we're now starting off here with game number 7. And we have some Dapple Doolies coming on in here and joining the party with Tacticooler and some beacons. I'm interested to see where these beacons are going to come in, and we have just so much Object Shredder on the side of Black Squid Ink Burger.
Yeah, Black Squid Ink Burger has not been a fan of these crabs that Cephalo Squad has been using. They said, let's just destroy them all. And they also want to destroy the Rainmaker shield as well. And, I mean, Dapples are really strong in this mode. Dapples were definitely kind of designed as a very strong Rainmaker weapon, and between the cooler, their fast damage per second, and their beacons, they're strong, but not quite strong enough to prevent this left side push from Cephalo Squad, immediately breaking the first checkpoint in 30 seconds, and now Cephalo Squad has the first checkpoint is down to 55 points, and now they have to decide if they want to continue on this upper route or if they want to drop it down, but it seems they're just choosing to disengage. They know they got the checkpoint, they know it was good enough, and now they're saying Black Squid Ink Burger has to be the one to respond on the turf that Cephalo Squad has painted in mid.
And I think that was kind of smart of them to back off in order to kind of maintain mid, and especially because they need to come in from this right mountainside back into mid in order to try to make a push here. And so they have mid totally in control and covered, but you see that the heavy splatling is going down and the roller going down trying to look for a pick with 2 specials ready to go on the side of Cephalo Squad. So the Cephalo Squad is ready to respawn and kind of see where this Rainmaker is going with the Tri-Inkzuka not quite finding the pick. And but the Splash getting the pick. Yeah,
the Splash is able to hunt down the Rainmaker as soon as it drops and just sort of trap it in a corner. And now not only does Cephalus Squad have more map control, but the Rainmaker's in a very awkward spot for Black Squid Ink Burger to try and get, but the Roller beautifully takes on the Crab Tank. Really well played, and this could be the start of some great things. Cephalus Squad is now 3 dead, and Black Squid Ink Burger can now take control of the Rainmaker and just try and make something happen. They've decided to make the Bloblobber the Rainmaker carrier, which is very sensible because I don't think it's very good on offense. And it seems they're also going to favor the upper left route that Cephalus Squad used against them. They're kind of fumbling a bit with the mechanics of getting up to the checkpoint, but they do just manage to get it with the support of the big bubbler. And now they're going to see if they can break this Rainmaker and just get 2 more points for this lead, and they just get the lead up to 43 before deciding to go to the right route. Not quite able to get any more points, but 43 is still a very solid lead for going on the left route. And now it's Cephalus Squad that has to respond.
You could tell that Cephalus Squad was applying a lot of pressure onto that mountainside, and they made the right call in order to try to go a different direction to just get a few more points, getting that initial 43, and then kind of taking the Rainmaker back down and going up the ramp side on the right. And I think that was a good call by them in order to try to gain and maintain those points. But now we see that Cephalus Squad once again has really good map control of mid, and Black Squid Ink Burger trying to break in here with a crab on the spinner, looking for that pick. And I'm not sure if they're the ones that got that pick, but the Roller going down. And we have 2 members down now on the side of Cephalus Squad, with 1 member down on the side of Black Squid Ink Burger. I think Black Squid Ink Burger is applying a lot of pressure here and applying like really good defense where it matters, even though that they don't have the ink advantage.
Yeah, and we're seeing 1 minute 45 seconds left. Both teams are fully respawned, and as soon as I say that, commentators curse 3 go down on the side of Cephalus Squad. It's a 1 versus 3 in the favor of Black Squid Ink Burger, and they could use this to either get more control of the Rainmaker or even push for a stronger lead if they push on the right side. So it'll be interesting to see how they sort of take possession of this Rainmaker. It is the Splash that was chosen to get it though, which I think is an interesting choice on the side of Black Squid Ink Burger. And the Roller goes down before it can really get anything started, and this Rainmaker is now kind of being pushed back a little bit. It's just the Rainmaker and the Blobber alive, and the Rainmaker can't really push much farther forward. Is kind of on that lower side of the zone known as Fight Club, but unable to really get out of there. And now there's only 1 minute left on the clock for Black Squid Ink Burger to defend Cephalus Squad from getting the lead.
Yeah, and you could kind of tell that Rainmaker was just kind of doing a little dance in mid and just kind of holding on to it, kind of wasting some time. And Cephalus Squad kind of took their time in order to try to get that splat in, but unfortunately, all 4 members are wiped on the side of Cephalus Squad. Black Squid Ink Burger now on the rebound with the Rainmaker in possession, looking on mountain to see if they can get a couple more points, but unfortunately 2 members going down in that push with the Rainmaker, I think, making a really good tactical retreat into Fight Club and looking to go on the right side and maybe maintain some points. But I think that they're kind of just playing the long game here and kind of waiting for time to run out. But you see the Cephalus Squad coming in with the Crab and another member just really aggressive, trying to find those picks and get them where they can. And now we have 2 members down on the side of Black Squid Ink Burger.
Yeah, but now Cephalus Squad was able to get that Rainmaker spot pretty deep into the territory they need to go. There's 3 versus 3 situation, and it's gonna come down to overtime. The Roller is gonna shark behind and try to find this Rainmaker. Beautiful squid roll from the Rainmaker to just barely stay alive. It's now a 4 versus 2, and they're once again opting to go top left. I'm very surprised that they're not opting to take the bottom route, because now the spinner's not quite in the right rotation for them. They're not able to make the jump. They're gonna have to try and make something happen, but they go on the banister. Cephalus Squad, very well played, just barely get that lead, and that's gonna be them taking the set 5-2.
Oh my gosh, the amount of just like style with that squid roll of trying to avoid the Roller. The Roller was out for blood, and they were able to just dodge roll into the right direction and able to get the Rainmaker up onto mountain and getting the points that they needed just from that little side banister. And I gotta admit, I was really scared for them. There was bubbles, Blobber bubbles coming out, just shooting at the Rainmaker, and the Booyah Bomb was able to take out, I think, it looked like there was 2 members that went down, but I'm not sure if the Booyah Bomb was able to take down just one of them or 2. And there's that roll! Oh, that was beautiful.
Beautiful squid roll. Oh my goodness, just a life-saving play. And I don't even have words. This This hero shot is a professional Rainmaker carrier, ladies and gents. If you ever see them in your solo queue lobbies, you might want to let them pick up the Rainmaker because it is clear that they know exactly what they were doing. And Guy is able to clutch it out for Cephala Squad and able to take the set 5-2. Very well done to Black Sweating Burger, getting 2 games on the board, but ultimately it is Cephala Squad that is going to continue their undefeated streak in Season 13 of LUTI.
If I was that hero shot, I'd be feeling pretty good right now. If I was Cephala Squad, I'd be feeling pretty good right now. But regardless, there was such amazing effort done on the side of Black Squid Ingburger, and especially on that Flounder Heights game that we were watching, that beautiful push down to the 4-point mark is nothing to scoff at. And so I think that they were able to really bring it tonight and give Cephala Squad a good fight.
With that being said, though, that is going to be the end for Saf and myself. And Saf, I gotta ask, where can the good people of the stream find you?
Hey, you can find me on Twitter at Safirea. That's with 2 A's, 2 P's, 2 A's on Twitter. And you can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Safirea. But right now I'm on hiatus. But if you would like to maybe someday watch a future broadcast, you can find me there, or you can find me on Twitter. But Pinky, where can I find you at? Where are you at?
You can if you guys really want to see some mediocre Splatoon 3 clips, then head on over to BrokenPinky_ on Twitter. And I haven't posted it in a bit, but I'll see if for a New Year's resolution I can get back on my game. But with that, folks, thank you very much for tuning in to these LUTI sets. That is going to be the end for our time, but I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Falco, back to you.
Oh my goodness, Saf and Pinky. That last game, I was on my toes because, like, just what you said, Saf. I'm like, oh, they can't go up. They can't go up the trench. It's going up. But no, hop on the slick side on the right side to take the lead. That was absolutely incredible. That caught me off guard. I hit the clip button right away to make sure we got that. Super entertaining. So Cephala Squad, congratulations for winning your set against the Black Squid Ingburger 5-2. And with that is going to conclude LUTI tonight. So again, such fantastic matches. I'm glad we had a triple header. Our next stream will be on Friday night in 2 days, and we are going to have a first. We are going to have a quadruple header coming your way. We have 4 matches that are there. We have Octos and Squids United versus Team Evil Thrust. That is going to be a Div 11 match starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Thembo IHOP versus Sway Soldiers. That is going to be a Div 4 match coming your way at 8 o'clock. And then we have the return of Cherry Limeade. You know them, you love them. They're going to be facing Yumum, a Div 1 matchup at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And then capping off the night, we're going to have Cala Mariachi versus Project Marigold, another Div 11 match. So such fantastic games headed your way in the next few days. And if you're watching us on YouTube, congratulations! This is our very first YouTube stream, so we're very happy that you guys are here. Feel free to subscribe and make sure that you get your notifications on when we go live. You guys don't want to miss any of our streams and our VODs that we upload. If you would like your LUTIcast set, or if you would like your LUTIcast streamed on muffling up my words. If you would like your LUTIcast streamed, or you are a commentator, feel free to join our Discord. We're always looking for new commentators, and we would love to cast your LUTI set. Again, join the Discord for all the latest information. And make sure you're following Splatoon Tourney on Twitch to make sure that get live notifications when we go live. We always love casting these sets. And you guys can follow me, FalcoFlyer, on Twitch at FalcoFlyer and FalcoFlyer11 on Twitter. As for now, we are going to go raid IPL Splatoon. This is a kind of like a mid-level tournament that happens every Wednesday. It's really open to everybody. I'm trying to get it to actually do the raid. I'm using a different platform. I don't know if I can raid from my account or if I have to use the Splatoon Tourney account. Let's find out. Let's see. I don't know if I can do that. So, not sure if we are going to have a raid. Let me try one more time because we want to make sure that we can raid IPL. And it looks like that did go through, hopefully. So, we are going to get that raid over to IPL. Again, SOS happening tonight. Keeping the competitive Splatoon action going. So, hope you guys have a good night. And again, make sure to follow, make sure to subscribe on YouTube, and join the Discord if you'd like to stay in. So yes, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you all. Have a